slick old hand. Watch him go to work, he'll steal your loving. It won't take him long. Dirty old man. Dirty old man. He's just a dirty, dirty, dirty old man. Dirty old man. Dirty old man. Trying to get with somebody. Anybody. Dirty old man. Girl, he's not the one. Dirty old man. He's just a having fun. Dirty old man. Then on to the next one. Dirty old man. With that same dirty old player line talking about, baby, you sure look good. We need to get together sometime. Dirty old man. Dirty old man. He's a dirty, dirty, dirty old man. Dirty old
Well, it's Saturday night. He'll take a bath, I'm sure. That goes out to Steve Robay, the control man here at the Boston Big O Country. 7:41 here at the Campers Inn, Saturday morning sea cruise. Calvin Hastings sitting in for Captain Ron, who is setting up. Captain Ron's calling me on the cell phone. He needs to call me on the line here. We're going to talk to him again from the Livermush Festival. Captain Ron, call me back on the line, studio line. We'll talk to him about what's going on at the Livermush Festival in uptown Shelby today. Again, we'll be broadcasting live there. Captain Ron and Gerald Weathers, they'll be there. And, of course, Tim Johnson and Ken Link's going to be in Lincoln for the big business expo over there. And don't forget about Mountaineer Days going on in Kings Mountain today. So we got a lot happening today here at the Boss. All right, let's go to the phone lines, and let's see if we can get Captain Ron back on the line. Good morning, Captain Ron.
That's the original Saturday morning sea cruise, by the way.
Brought to you now by the Campers Inn. How about that?
That's right. Hey, I'm set up, ready to go up here.
Are you? Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. Just got things turned on and ready to go.
Okay, sounds good
a lot of
then.
People coming in, setting up. I think it starts at 10 and goes until 4 today.
Yeah,
So,
right. Now,
I haven't had an opportunity to get with anybody yet to see what all's going on. I'm sure you know more about that than I do.
well, if you got a WhatsApp shopper and you'll flip over to the back of it, I think we got a couple of pages in there that tells about all the events there today.
That's right. I actually have one right here in my possession.
Right in your greasy little hands.
That's right. That's right. So,
All right. Well, we can catch you later on that, whatever. But, yeah, a lot happening today. Plenty of food up there. Crafts and vendors. Going to be a big, big day today. I guess rides and games and all sorts of things like that. And, of course, Livermush.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple of the blow-up things for the kids. They're
Right.
across the street from me, so there's a lot of stuff going on for the kids today. I'll probably try to get a hold of some people and get them to come around and interview them while we're here today. Let me know what's going on. So
Another got a Livermush cooking contest, recipe contest. So
I need to be one of the taste testers on that.
I told Gerald, his church is having an apple butter sale today. How about an apple butter Livermush biscuit? I think that would work.
I heard you guys talking about that. That sounds pretty good.
I think it would work. I really do. I think it would work. Well, Captain Ron, appreciate you calling in. You'll be back here at the controls next week, I assume.
That's right. If the Lord's willing, I'll be there.
Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, and you get over your crud, you'll be back here, right?
That's right. I will. I'll be back next Saturday at 6 o'clock.
All right. I'll see you in a little bit at the Livermush Festival.
All right. Sounds good.
got to be my love. Got to be my love. 'Cause my baby loves me. And I'm her only family. Crazy about my baby. Crazy about my baby. And it's so plain to see she's crazy about me.
Well, there you go. It's got to be Mela, entertainers. 7:46. Let's get the guru of high school football back in here one more time.
This is Terry Reinhardt with the Renato Automall scoreboard for Friday, October the 20th, 2017. In the Southern Piedmont 1A, it was Thomas Jefferson beating Bessemer City 26-14. Thomas Jefferson goes to 9-0 and 5-0 in the conference. It was Cherryville beating Highland Tech 33-25. Mountain Island Charter 48, Pine Lake Prep 18, and Community School of Davison beats Union Academy 38-36. In the South Fork Athletic 2A, it was Bandy's 35, West Lincoln 23, Lincoln 53, Lake Norman Charter 14. Newton Conover over North Lincoln 49-6, and Maiden in 2 overtimes defeats East Lincoln 44-43. In the Southwestern Athletic 2A, it was Shelby 51, East Gaston 6, South Point 62, RS Central 0, East Rutherford 41, and Chase 6. In the Northwestern Foothills 2A, it was West Iredale 36, Bunker Hill 28. It was Fred T. Ford over Drone 28-13, and High Brighton no trouble with East Burke 62-15. In the Big South 3A, it was Stuart Kramer 43, Ashbrook 15, Crest 49, North Gaston 13, Kings Mountain 15, Burns 0, and Hunter Huss over Forest View 41-6. In the Northwestern 3A 4A, Alexander Central 52, St. Stephen's 21, Hickory over South Caldwell 27-23, Watauga 61, McDowell 17, and West Caldwell 44, Freedom 42. This has been Terry Reinhardt with the Renato Auto Mall scoreboard.
It's the grand reopening celebration at Renato Auto Mall. It's a grand event with grand savings. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join the boss as we broadcast live during this special event this Saturday, October 21st, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Drop by and enjoy a free hot dog, chips, and soft drinks, and register to win some great prizes, including Southern Christmas Show certificates, free rounds of golf, free food certificates, T-shirts, and more. And be sure to visit Renato Cadillac Buick GMC and register to win a self-propelled GMC riding toy truck. And check out the great deals at all 3 locations. Ask about special financing and huge discounts. So plan now to be there this Saturday, October 21st, during the grand opening, reopening, celebration at Renato Cadillac Buick GMC, Renato Kia, and Renato Honda, all at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. Hey, look, it's Gary Dellinger with Dellinger Electric. Gary, what's going on?
Hey, Calvin, just stopped by to see how the new jingle was coming along.
Well, as a matter of fact, we just finished it up. Want to hear it?
Oh, I can't wait.
Here we go.
When it comes to your wiring, you don't want to monkey around. Call Dellinger Electric. They're the best electricians in town.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even give her phone number. And monkey around?
704-435-0705. They're the best electricians in town.
I don't have to pay for that. Do I?
What's Shelby's best-kept secret? It's the Hub Cafe. Tucked away inside Medical Arts Pharmacy, the Hub has delicious home-cooked meals with wonderful meat entrees and the largest selection of veggies in town. Daily, off the grill, choose from hamburger, hot dogs, homemade chicken, and egg salad sandwiches, as well as killer club sandwiches. All this plus delicious desserts at the Hub Cafe, open for breakfast and lunch. Located inside Medical Arts Pharmacy, 108 Grover Street, across from the hospital in Shelby.
Get your insurance quote today from Gaylord Brawley Nationwide Insurance Agency in Shelby. Call and talk with Bart, Gary, Heather, or Gaylord today. They've been serving individuals, families, and businesses in Cleveland County for over 24 years, offering auto, home, business, or life insurance. They strive to exceed their customers' expectations. Expect the best, and you get the best with Gaylord Brawley Nationwide Insurance Agency, 1235 Falston Road, Highway 18 North in Shelby. Call 704-484-2680 today.
Cole Custer's wounded Chevrolet goes to the bottom of the racetrack.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series Playoffs.
Justin Allgaier trying to make things happen here inside the top 5.
Race 4.
Here's Elliott Sapper.
And the final 8 contenders hope to hit the jackpot in Kansas.
Junior Motorsports teammates within a car length of each other off of turn 2.
The Kansas Lottery 300.
The intensity meter is pegged.
Saturday at 2:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series Kansas City Lottery 300 this Saturday at 2:30 on Big O Country. 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
ACC football and basketball right here on The Boss with each oldies and sports stations.
I love you, baby, but damn.
I got to shut up and shack from the Carter Chevrolet Studios on the Campers Inn Saturday, the original Saturday morning sea cruise. I stand to be corrected. The original Saturday morning sea cruise. Calvin Hastings for Captain Ryan today. We'll be talking to him in a little while. Again, well, I don't know if we're going to talk to him. He'll be talking to you guys later on today after 10 o'clock. Him and Gerald. Right now, the Fantastic Shakers there. Best things happen when you're out on the dance floor. It's 7:55 here at the Boss.
Best things happen while you're dancing. Things you would not do at home come naturally on the floor. For dancing soon becomes romancing when you hold a girl in your arms that you've never held before. Even guys with two left feet come out alright if the girl is sweet. If by chance their cheeks should meet while dancing, proving that the best things happen while you dance. The best things happen while you are dancing. Things that you would not do at home, naturally on the floor. For dancing soon becomes romancing when you hold a girl in your arms that you never held chance the cheek should meet while dancing, proving that the best things happen while you dance. With two left feet come out okay if the girl is sweet. If by chance their cheek should meet while dancing, proving that the best things happen while you dance. With two left feet come out alright if the girl is sweet. If by chance their cheek should meet while dancing, proving that the best thing happen. I said the best thing happen. The best thing happen while you dance.
Bo Scrunts there and the Fantastic Shakers there. That's going to wrap up today's program. Calvin Easton sitting in for Captain Ron. He'll be back next week, but he'll be broadcasting live today with Gerald Weathers up at the big Liver Mush Festival at Uptown Show. See you guys Monday morning bright and early. Here's Miss Jody.
I'm gonna have it all by myself. Let me tell you how it all got started. This man of mine worried me to death. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a get drunk party. Yes I am. I'm gonna have it all by myself, by myself, y'all.
One o'clock from the Performance Racing Network, right here on 1590 AM WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia.
Cole Custer's wounded Chevrolet goes to the bottom of the racetrack.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series Playoffs.
Justin Allgaier trying to make things happen here inside the top five.
Race 4.
Here's Elliott Sapper.
And the final 8 contenders hope to hit the jackpot in Kansas.
Junior Motorsports teammates within a car length of each other off of turn 2.
The Kansas Lottery 300.
The intensity meter is pegged.
Saturday at 2:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series Kansas City Lottery 300 is Saturday at 2:30 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Join us to celebrate the show's silver and gold 50th anniversary and shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets online and save at SouthernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Kings Mountain's Mountaineer Days is the gateway to fun, food, music, crafts, and a frightfully good time in Patriots Park. On Friday, October 20th from 2 to 6, enjoy an old-fashioned homecoming parade, Midway Fun Zone, a live DJ, and hear Crawford and Powers singing live at 4 p.m. The fun continues Saturday starting at 2 p.m. with live bands including Timber Ridge at 2 p.m., the James Taylor Tribute Band, Fourth Creek at 4 p.m., and at 7 p.m., the Zach Brown Tribute Band, 20 Ride. Enjoy the Midway Fun Zone, arts and craft vendors, food and fun. Make sure to catch one of our Ghost of Kings Mountain performances happening every hour starting at 2 p.m. The Ghost of Kings Mountain is a dramatic production bringing the Battle of Kings Mountain to life with the help of some undead patriots. Experience firsthand the excitement of battle and the stories told by those who lived it. The program is family friendly. Kings Mountain's Mountaineer Days, coming up Friday and Saturday, October 20th and 21st. Today, more and more people are shopping and getting their information online. Here at KTC Broadcasting, we're making our websites easier for you to find out what you're looking for. At KTCBroadcasting.com, you can listen to all 3 of our radio stations, plus watch live video of high school sports, American Legion Baseball, Christmas parades, and other special events. At WhatsUpShopper.com, you'll find all kinds of deals from our local merchants. Shop our eBay store, plus swap shop items, along with community and church events and our local news. And at LincolnCounty.com, you'll find all the information you need concerning Lincoln County, from local businesses to government to school information, even today's local weather forecast. So click on and enjoy. That's KTCBroadcasting.com, the WhatsUpShopper.com, and LincolnCounty.com. The future is today.
Brian Reese of North Lincoln High School is this month's McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Brian is the son of John and Dawn Reese and is a junior at North Lincoln High School. Brian is the #1 runner for the North Lincoln cross country team and also runs indoor and outdoor track. Brian has an A grade point average of 4.3438, and his advanced courses include AP Government and Politics, AP History, and AP Calculus. Extracurricular activities include member of the Beta Club, Habitat for Humanity, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Brian is a member of the Denver United Methodist Church and is involved in mission trips, the youth group, and Sunday school. He also helps with Vacation Bible School and the North Lincoln Track Clinic. After graduation, Brian would like a career as a physical therapist or go into business. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also overall achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship.
Sunday lunch can only mean one thing: a trip to Mitchum's Kitchen in Vale, of course, for their famous fried chicken. Try their Sunday lunch special for only $7.29. Select from fried chicken, chicken rice and gravy, or barbecue, with the freshest vegetables including green beans, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, baked beans, and more, all topped off with one of their famous desserts. Come out this Sunday for some good old home cooking. Mitchum's Kitchen, Highway 27 West at the 274 intersection in Vale.
What's up? Good morning. Campers in Saturday Sports Talk here on KTCBroadcasting.com. Watch live on YouTube. Hello, good morning to everyone watching on the World Wide Web, listening on the web at KTCBroadcasting.com, WCSL 1590 AM, and WLON 1050 AM. I'm a little chilly down here in the studio, Terry. I should have brought my sweater. You got to drive a little faster and get so my biscuit stays a little bit warmer is what needs to happen.
Yeah, I need a heater put in my car, right?
You don't got a heat?
Yeah, I got heat. I'm just saying I need one of them little heaters to put over the top of it.
Just stick our biscuits in the window and turn the defrost on.
Yeah, I guess that's what I need to do.
That's what you need to do, keep our biscuits totally warm in the morning. Even in the summer, Terry, when it's 90 degrees, you can roll your windows down and keep the biscuits warm.
Yeah.
But it's good. Great biscuits as always, and breakfast this morning from Mitchum's Kitchen this Saturday. What'd you have, Terry?
I had gravy biscuits with side of bologna again.
Ooh, Smokey, what'd you get?
No, the usual sausage biscuit.
So you can always bet on smoking the sausage biscuit. I got myself an egg and cheese biscuit, and they were all good. This morning, Campers Inn of Kings Mountain Sports Talk. We got all kinds of things to talk about. We got Game 7 to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Game 7, Yankees and Astros.
That's like we started off. It says, I am. That's what Verlander was saying last night.
Yes,
I
he
am.
was. Verlander comes and dominates 7 scoreless innings, right?
He did.
And so we'll talk about that. We got NASCAR playoffs to talk about, Smoke. Talladega's last week. Today's a cutoff week. After everyone on the track wrecked last week. That was going good till about 50, or was it 50 laps? Yeah.
No, only 20
15.
to go.
It was lower than that, yeah. So about 20 laps to go. They decided to wreck everybody on the track and give Dale Jr. one last chance, right, Terry?
Oh, man.
Is that what they did?
Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't even know whether he pushed it at the end. I mean, he ended up finishing 7th. I mean, it's a good last race for him at Talladega.
Junior escaped so many times. He was so close. I mean,
he did.
Just to think about, and that's what's bad about some people say about Talladega being in the playoffs is that, you can look at the cars. The first wreck the one that took out Jimmy for good. When the car come down and took him out, they took Jimmy out, the car behind him, and there's Dale Jr. pushing all three, and he didn't get touched. He just kind of scooted on through, and then the other wreck happened the same way. He is on somebody's bumper, and they all spin out, and he goes on through again.
Why do you not want that race, though? And that's for me, for NASCAR, because that bothers me. You need that race in the chase just for the reason you're talking about right now. You've got to survive.
You know where I would put it? I'd put it number 1. I'd start it with it, and then that'll just make everybody nuts and crazy, and it'll be just.
I think they ought to make it the last one.
God, yeah, Terry. Let's just wreck everybody. Everybody going for the championship. That won't happen real quick. Jimmy Johnson won last year as everybody wrecked around him. What do you think will happen in Talladega? The last week, but it's just tough for playoff race to come down something like that.
But can you imagine though if that race was the last one? Them 4 contenders that's running for it would be at the tail end, so far behind the whole field,
bump drafting each other. Them 4 and Danica back there.
They'd be a half a lap behind, so they wouldn't
we'll
get caught
talk
in the wreck.
more about that in a little bit. We got NFL action. Bad news in Pantherland Smoke. Keekly out, concussion protocol. We got. Can the Panthers survive? Can they win? How long is he going to be out? What's the deal with that? Is that the end of his career? There's all kinds of questions you got to talk about with that. Cowboys, Terry, they've been struggling a little bit. What's going to do? What are they going to do with Zeke? What's going to happen there?
He's playing this week.
Well, he's going to play this week. Browns at 0 for forever. And we got other things in the NFL, of course. Talk about Marshawn Lynch pushing the referee around.
Aaron Rodgers possibly out for the year.
Yep, my boy Will Boykins over in Shelby. We're going to talk about your Packers, dude. Y'all are done. Over, kaput.
Yep.
Unless you make one phone call, and you know what it is. Call Tony Romo. All right, we got to talk about NBA action. Dwight Howard last night, Terry, 20 points, 15 rebounds, leading the Hornets to a victory there. 1-1. Ain't that right, Smoke? Mm-hmm. So they start off 1-1. They're injury depleted. We'll talk about them being injury depleted. Tar Heels injury depleted in football, Smoke. 21 players out. Jones Angel told my 5-year-old son on the way to kindergarten the other morning, Terry, that they're needing bodies. If Austin wants to come down and help out.
21 players out. I don't think that would have changed their season.
And Austin was Terry, 22 people start, so it's just Chaz and the backups right now. I don't know, Brandon Harrison, the backups. Who knows what Larry Fedora is doing? We talked about that a little bit last night, just hinting at it, and it's going to make me pull my hair. By the end of the show, I'm going to have as much hair as Terry is. We'll get done talking about Larry Fedora and what in the world's going on in Chapel Hill, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's give our scores real quick, Smoke, and then we got to get our first break in, and then let's talk a little high school real quick, and then we'll get our first break in before we get into other stuff. Probably start with college football here in just a minute. Last night in the we've got new rankings, new standings to talk about. Big movers and shakers, a lot of blowouts, but we also had some close, surprising games and some other surprising scores. Guys, let's give the scores, and we'll talk about that real quick before we head off on our first break.
All right, and the Big South 3A Conference, it was Stuart Kramer beating Ashbrook handedly 43-15. Crest defeating North Gaston 49-13. Kings Mountain shutting out Burns 15-0. And Hunter Huss having no problems with Forest View beating them 41-6.
In the Northwestern 3A, 4A, it was Alexander Central 52, St. Stephen's 21. Alexander Central goes to 9-0 and 5-0 in the conference. It was Hickory pulling off a hard-fought battle against South Caldwell, 27-23. Watauga no trouble with McDowell, 61-17, and West Caldwell comes from behind to defeat Freedom, 44-42.
In the Southwestern Athletic 2A Conference, it was Shelby beating East Gaston 51-6. South Point shutting out our Essential badly, 62-0. And East Rutherford beating Chase 41-6.
In the Northwestern Foothills 2A, it was West Iredale 36, Bunker Hill 28. It was Fred T. Ford overdrawn 28-13, and High Brighton no trouble with East Burke 62-15.
In the Southern Piedmont 1A Conference, it was Cherryville 33, Highland Tech 25 as Cherryville gets their first win in conference play. Mountain Island Charter 48, Pine Lake Prep 18. Community School of Davidson won in a shootout with Union Academy 38-36, and the game that could well determine who wins the conference championship in the Southern Piedmont 1A Conference. Thomas Jefferson beats Bessemer City 26-14 as Bessemer City is no longer undefeated.
And in South Fork Athletic 2A, it was Bandy's 35, West Lincoln 23. Lincoln in no trouble with Lake Norman Charter 53-14. It was Newton Conover 49, North Lincoln 6, and Maiden in 2 overtimes defeats East Lincoln 44-43 as a touchdown pass to Henschel and a 2-point run by Mayfield in the second overtime wins the game for Maiden.
All right, guys, let's talk about standings real quick across the board now. After last night's games over, we'll start in the Big South 3A. Kings Mountain overall 8-1, conference 5-0. They're first place there in the Big South. Huss and Crest are 4-1 in the conference, both 6-3 overall. Stuart Kramer 3-2 in the conference. They're in fourth place. They're also 6-3 overall. Then Ashbrook and Forest View are 2-3. Burns and North Gaston 0-5 in the conference. Ashbrook 3-6. Forest View 3-6. Burns 1-8, and North Gaston 2-7. Where that also leaves is those 4 teams. They're in the top 4. Are also in our new top 10. Kings Mountain right now at number 2. Huss right now at number 6. Crest at 7, and Stuart Kramer at 9. We're going to talk about more about that in just a little bit. Make sure our fuzzy math is right before we give out the final polls and make some people angry. Had to fix. We did some small changes, and I got some comparisons on what it would look like if it was different ways. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit off camera and off air. Then we'll get back to you guys exactly how we want to present that. Shelby, South Point, over in the Southwestern 2A, both of them 3-0. East Rutherford 2-1. East Gaston 1-2. Chase 0-3, and our Central 0-3. South Point overall 9-0. Shelby 8-1. Their only loss, of course, to South Point, South Carolina. Shelby right now number 3 in our poll, and South Point number 1 is East Rutherford, sits just outside the top 10 as our next team up.
Yeah, and both those teams are waiting on the last week, and I heard a lot of comments this past week on why should we even have football in that conference when we know for 4 straight years it's going to be the same 2 teams, and they said, why, it's kind of a top heavy with 2 teams and then everybody else fills in for the rest.
Well, first of all, you can't say that, right?
Oh, you cannot, but that's how people are looking at it.
That's what you
because
expect.
You got the number 1 against number 2, South Point against Shelby, number 1 against number 2.
But they got to also understand another thing is as far as South Point's going right now, they're losing a lot of students. So at what point,
does it finally
catch up and affect them? It's got to at some point because there's so many schools on the edge of their districts right now that they're losing, that they can lose kids to. And Kramer keeps. They're up to 3A now, Terry. So how many of those kids are supposed to be over there? So South Point's dropped, East Gaston's dropped to 2A. They're both down to 2A. So there's a lot of questions with that. Yeah, so we understand it. I think the biggest problem with it is there's 6 teams in it. So you don't have, if you had 8 teams, you'd probably have a third team at least that could get. East Rutherford's not bad, but right now they can't compete right now with Shelby and South Point. But it's hard to say that's going to be the only thing. And if people only thinking football, then you have a huge problem
that's
there.
True.
That's what
true.
I was going to say, because I mean, you got basketball and baseball. I think people will be, I think that
the teams are totally going to change who the best teams are around it in baseball. And then around here, especially in baseball and even in basketball, you're going to have the 1A schools that are going to be able to compete with the 3As and 4A. Well, they're not going to be playing 4As or anything, but compete with the bigger schools in the area. I mean, like I said, I played at Cherryville and Bessemer. Other than football, we beat and competed with everybody. And then we did compete. We beat Lincoln when I was at Cherryville, so it's not like it can't happen or doesn't happen in football. So I mean, you like if you went in this conference right now, Terry, and made the conference say replaced Shelby and South Point with say Lincoln and East Lincoln or whatever. Well, Bessemer used to beat those teams, or Cherryville used to could beat those teams. So if it doesn't have, like Terry said, why play it? Well, it doesn't always happen that way. There's upsets. There are. I think the 6-team team leads it maybe to more of it just doing it like that. Most divisions are 8 teams across the state.
Man, that's kind of tough. That's tough on coaches because they have to hunt additional teams to play as non-conference.
And then everybody else got 8 teams.
That's how Shelby had to
available.
go play South Point South Carolina to fill a spot.
And then East Gaston had to play Blacksburg, South Carolina, in like October and earlier this month, and it's like, how the heck did they get Blacksburg? Because you expect them to stay mostly in state unless it's a major matchup. But that's what the problem is when you have a 6-team conference.
Yeah, I was talking to Will last night. And talk about the other sports and things. In basketball, I think in my career, I'm just estimating off the top of my head on teams that I played against Cleveland County. I think we were like 6-3 or 7-3 maybe all time in basketball, and that was at Cherryville and Bessemer. We had the Bell Twins back then when we played against Shelby. Those were some massive battles that we went back and forth with, and we even played a conference championship over at West Lincoln one year, and Shelby beat us, and we had beat them twice earlier that season, and they beat us that year. But and then in baseball, we're out there. Devin Lowry at South Point played Double-A for Kansas City. A lot of people know the Lowrys and everything around here. Well, at Bessemer we had Chris Mason. Well, we beat them in the Easter tournament. They beat us at Bessemer at home. We beat them at in the Easter tournament over at North Gaston. We beat Lowry. Lowry didn't pitch against us over at Bessemer, so we beat Lowry. Didn't beat the other kid, the major league kid. So it goes. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, I know that's just like this one. I'm glad Coach Pruitt is getting ready to come on and talk to us too, because I'm going to ask him. I know sometimes coming up now in basketball where they're going to play somebody 3 times, and the first time's not even going to count. Is that a plus, or is that a minus, or is that just for attendance, to make money, or you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because if I'm playing somebody, that's like me when we playing basketball. I never wanted to play my county teams an additional time, like in a Christmas tournament or something, because I thought it was just too many times playing them, and they figure out what you're doing every time.
Yeah, I guess it's a different situation than that. Now let's get over to the 1A bracket. Got a phone call real quick this early this morning. Mr. Coach Pruitt is on the line. Cherryville last night with a big win at home. Was it homecoming last night too, Coach Pruitt? Or was that the week before?
Yes, sir. It's homecoming last night.
Well, congratulations on the win to you, your football team, the school, and the town, everybody that was there for homecoming last night.
Thank you. It was a good game. Highland Tech is well versed. Coach Shepard, well improved team, and he's working his tail off down there. And there's a couple kids from Cherryville on the team, so it's always neat to play against them because the guys revisit after the game. I was coming through the line, giving Mr. Jeffries a few things, and he was giving them back. But it was all in good nature, and I was really impressed with how their kids played.
Well, Coach, on your game last night, what was the turning point there towards the end, we saw Highland Tech try to make a little run against you. What was the turning point on the game that sealed it for y'all?
Well, a couple things in the game that were big for us. We had a punt return for a touchdown in the first half, which was big. A couple turnovers for us early in the game. Second, third possession kind of kept them in the game. One was a fumble into the end zone, which came back for a touchback. That would have been a big boost. But we got up 27-6 after halftime, and they came back with the deep ball and threw a 90-yard touchdown pass. And and then they had another pass that went deep. So we've got to, as has been the case most of the year, not give up the big play. A lot of times it's been on the ground this year, but last night it was in the air. Their quarterback, he throws the deep ball good. We just couldn't quite get enough pressure on him, and then just had a couple opportunities. We had a turnover on downs on about the 8-yard line in the third quarter, and we had a turnover on downs on the 10-yard line in the fourth quarter, which we punched those in, and the game's not as close. But give their kids credit. They kept battling, and give our kids credit, too. We did enough to win the football game. You'd like to execute better going into your last 3 weeks of the season than we did at times last night. But Chapel Moss had an incredible game. If you had to say what was the turning point of the game, was just the fact that he carried the ball over 30 times for about 170 yards and 3 touchdowns. Probably could have done that a couple of weeks earlier, but right now Chapel's playing it both ways, and he had 7 tackles led our defense last night. So we're getting a lot out of some kids, and we do have a lot of kids going both ways with our injuries. We had 8 guys out last night, and one of the guys that came back got hurt in the second quarter. So going into this week, we're looking at 9 guys out, but we may get a couple of them back, which will be big if we can get them back for Pine Lake and then also for Bessemer.
Coach, this kind of question really, speaks at the heart of kind of, I played both ways there at Cherryville and Bessemer City, and you're talking about, the depth there, and I try to explain to these guys all the time that go to these big schools. I'm not going to name, or from these big schools, not going to name any names or whatever, but they don't understand the issues that these smaller schools deal with as far as depth-wise, injury-wise. You got players going both ways. Just to hear people that went to these other schools and like, yeah, I just played defense. I'm like, what? I played offense, defense, special teams, kicked ball, did everything that we had to do, and just speak to how much it goes into these kids on your team. You don't have 50, you don't have a roster of 50, 60 players. You got, well, how many do you guys got? And these guys do have to go both ways and do play a lot more than these other teams actually have to put. The other players that other teams have to play.
As we went through the year, our goal is to have a 2-platoon system where we don't have guys going both ways. Because when I was at Watauga and had 90 kids in the program, you didn't have to worry about that. And I found that the kids were a lot fresher and they got injured a lot less. But the more we tend to play 2-way, it seems like the injuries crop up. But this year, a lot of our injuries weren't to 2-way players. I can only think of one. But as we've had more and more injuries, we've had to add more and more 2-way players. I think when it comes to injuries, the off season is huge. If you are preparing yourself physically for the coming season, I think that goes a long ways in terms of injury. But just like last night, we had a kid get a little blindside block, and when he went down the ground, shoulder hit the ground, and then popped out joint. They had 2 kids with shoulder injuries last night. So injuries is a part of the game, and it doesn't matter what sport you play, or if you're a snowboarder or a skateboarder or whatever you do. I mean, when you put yourself out there in a situation where you can have contact, it happens. But to have our kids this time of year, it's a little cooler. It's a little easier to go both ways, and we were able to rest Chapel on defense a little bit every now and then, and a couple of the other guys who go both ways. We're getting a lot out of our center, Jace Britton. He's one of our better defensive linemen. There's times when he's important to our offense, and I'm trying to say, let's get him off the field a little bit on defense. But then when you watch film and see the things that he does, I mean, he's a good football player. So we feel like we're just putting the best group we can out there. Numbers wise, we have, counting the injured guys and the JVs that we brought up, we have 44 guys basically that are on our roster right now, which is good for the last few weeks of the season. We get some guys back and rotate a few JV guys into some special teams and get guys a little bit of rest here and there. But those guys have got to understand what we want them to do. And just like last night when our long snapper went down, we have a freshman who is our backup long snapper, and he got in the game and did a really good job. So we got a lot to do this week. Playoffs is 48 teams, I think. I saw where 46 teams had 3 wins going into this week. We got to the 3-win plateau, but the max prep ranking is going to hang over your head if you don't get to 4. So we got to get to 4 in the next 2 weeks. So that's what our goal is for senior night, to get by a Pine Lake Prep team that we thought we should have beat last year. We had turnovers. Turnovers have been our Achilles heel since that football game last year, and that's something we got to keep working on and keep getting better at.
Coach, my last real question, you kind of hinted at it real quick. How hard is it, as a coach, you're talking about you want to get your running back off on defense, or, like we were hinting to earlier with the smaller roster sizes, when you got 90 kids, you don't have to worry about that. How much easier is it, how much harder is it or whatever, to have to manage things like that. Some things you shouldn't need to have to worry about. And then you're ever thinking, well, I need to get my running back or my quarterback off on defense for a couple plays. Basically, like, how do you as a coach try to manage that?
Well, it's a game-by-game thing. Like last night, we were searching for our best defensive backfield, so Jacob Harden played defensive back last night. Probably hadn't played defensive back since the last game that he played last year. So we were in a situation where numbers, we get down to the last play of the game, the hands team, and when Jonathan got hurt, I'm looking for one person that I feel comfortable with putting on the hands team in case that ball gets to them. And, man, it was a hard search. So there's times when it is easier and sometimes when it's harder, but just trying to get kids a break. And sometimes I guess you give kids credit, and I guess it was the same when you played, Kevin. They don't want to come off the field.
No.
They don't give me that Dean Smith tired signal. They very rarely do that, but you can see it in their play sometimes, particularly when you watch film and you watch their effort from play to play. And that's something that we have to continue to work at. And like I said, the more kids that we can get involved and give them a break on special teams. Chappell's only on kickoff return. He's on hands team too. But we have him in position where if it's a short kick, he can make that play. But that's the only special team we use him on. So that's definitely an area where we try to give kids rest, particularly if they play a lot. Quay Florine, when we're in our run mode, he hopefully doesn't get on the field very much on offense, but he's caught 10 balls over the last 2 games, or maybe 11 balls over the last 2 games. So he's important to our offense. So there's a lot of things that we try to do to try to get kids in the right position, and then the main thing is just go out and execute and play better. There's times last night we played really good, and times last night we didn't play as good. So we've got to give Highland Tech credit for that too. Thought their kids played hard throughout. But appreciate you guys, and I hope y'all have a great day, and look forward to the next 2 weeks and getting ready for the playoffs.
Well, good luck, Coach, and I hope you make the playoffs. We'll have you on WCSL 1590 AM with Milton and Danny. Thanks for calling as always, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Smoke, you got a couple
comments.
Yeah,
he touched on a lot of things there. And what if you're in a situation, and like he's been in sometimes, and maybe you don't have an individual to play a position, and all of a sudden, just like he said, I'm hunting for somebody to go in that's never played a safety or never played a corner, but mine just got hurt, and I had one out that was injury. And see, when you're at how would I put this? If you're like a Shelby that has a lot of people that come out, or Crest that's got a lot of people, when you start going to like a Bessemer City, Cherryville, a Highland Tech, and they don't have the individuals or the people that are out there to help them, it's hard. I can imagine that.
Well, it's totally a depth thing, especially across the the D and offensive lines, the linebackers, and like Terry, it's not like in baseball. Let's say you lose a players, you kind of maybe try to hide somebody in right field or something like that. You can't hide somebody at cornerback.
No, you cannot.
You can't stick somebody out there. Look, I played with one of the best athletes ever at Cherryville that played at Cherryville, the Bell twins. Okay, Sabart on the other side would constantly get burnt at corner, and he's a 10 times better athlete than I is because he didn't know, he would get mixed up in the coverages. Yeah. So you can put Dion over there if you don't know the coverage, something bad's going to happen, and so you're right, Terry. You just can't stick people out there. And like say with the Crest and Shelby's, you got, we had one or two Andres, right? They've got 5 to 10.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the depth thing. So we had 2 Bell twins. Well, the Bells might have been the best 2 athletes on the field. I don't know how many times against Shelby and whoever else we played, we had the 2 best players or the 3 best players. Gary Johnson and they scored on Shelby. Jeff Johnson, I'm telling you, Gary Johnson might be the best player besides Norris Hopper on the field that night. So, they've got the 1, the 2, 3, 4 deep best. They can compete that way. But it's the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the depth, and North Carolina Tar Heels football can tell you about depth. And he's talking about wanting to come off the field. I didn't want to come off the field. When I did want to come off the field, I did not want to be on special teams on kickoffs if I didn't have to, because that's a lot of running, and if you don't make the play, if you're playing every play on offense, every play on defense, and you're the punter and the kicker and everything else, was it George Blanda that did all that?
He did.
I guess I was George Blanda of a winless football team. But anyway, when you're doing all that, you don't want to come out and certain things, but sometimes you get tired out there.
Yeah, you do,
and you really do.
And I've tough. Seen games where, and I'm not speaking of schools or nothing like that, where players, and I'm talking about elite players that are playing college right now, would take plays off.
Well, yeah.
And the coaches up in the stands, the ones that are watching, they could see it, and they would just start bleeping about what he's doing right now. To get him out of there because he's taking plays off.
Well, then Terry, you also have the phone calls and the questions about why coaches don't play players at certain positions, or why is this guy not doing that? Well, if you take him away from this spot, somebody's got to play that spot, right? So if the coaches have to weigh what's best for the team, and you can't just. It's not like an NFL team. These are high school teams. It's not like an NFL or college. You can just recruit whoever you want or to fill the spots and the type of players you want. You can't just go sign the type of players you want. You have to work with what you got. And,
you sure do.
And if you're weak in a spot, and strong in one, do you switch them up and be above average in both, or do you take that weak spot and be really strong in one? Coaches have to weigh that, and these coaches don't understand that. They'll say, run the 6'8" guy out there at tight end. Well, the 6'8" guy might not be able to catch, so there's a waste of time sending him out there. You just never know. All right, guys, we're running a little long on that. Let's take need to take a quick break here, and then we're going to talk college football, NFL, NASCAR, and Game 7 in Major League playoffs. Everyone, the Yankees are in Game 7, but that Verlander took care of that last night. Who's starting in Game 7? Do you know the starters there?
I think Morton's starting for Houston, and I'm not quite sure. Santana.
Okay, so I saw that Keuchel was available. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah, they said he might come in the middle. Even Verlander said he'd let them know today if he could do any more for the night.
All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. WLON 1050 AM, WCSL 1590 AM, and watching live on YouTube and KTCBroadcasting.com.
It's the grand reopening celebration at Renato Auto Mall. It's a grand event with grand savings. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join the boss as we broadcast live during the special event this Saturday, October 21st, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Drop by and enjoy a free hot dog, chips, and soft drinks, and register to win some great prizes, including Southern Christmas Show certificates, free rounds of golf, free food certificates, T-shirts, and more. And be sure to visit Renato Cadillac Buick GMC and register to win a self-propelled GMC riding toy truck. And check out the great deals at all 3 locations. Ask about special financing and huge discounts. So plan now to be there this Saturday, October 21st, during the grand reopening celebration at Renato Cadillac Buick GMC, Renato Kia, and Renato Honda. All at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Luke Combs, who told me that he's actually met the other Luke.
I was like, hey, Luke wants to see Luke on the Luke bus. There was just a lot of Lukes going around. So we went up, man, and it was fun getting to hang with him.
That's Luke Combs this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. It's the grand opening of the new Renato Honda. The renovations are complete, and you're invited to drop by our new showroom. Check out the great deals this month, like 0.9% APR financing for the 2017 Honda Civics and Honda Accords. Offer ends October 31st. And check out the great specials in the service department. Don't get left out in the cold with a free winter battery test. And right now, get an oil change, tire rotation, and balancing, only $74.95. Don't miss the deals during the grand opening celebration at the new Renato Honda, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Once Upon a Time is now. Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. Presented by Harris Teeter and Pepsi. 12 stages of nonstop entertainment.
Because it is just so much fun for everybody in the family. It doesn't matter what age you are.
A medieval amusement park, comedy, daredevil antics, and giant roasted turkey legs.
We love the Renaissance Festival.
Jousting nights, men in tights, shopping, music, dance, incredible value, and delicious foods.
We love to come and eat our way through the festival. Amazing things to eat, the turkey legs and the crepes and everything else. It's a highlight of our trip every year.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Discount tickets at Harris Teeter or RenFestInfo.com.
Summertime fun starts in your own backyard with a call to Gage Pool and Spa in Gastonia. And right now, you can get low financing with approved credit on your new pool. Offer good on both above ground and in-ground pools. Low financing with approved credit. See Gage Pool and Spa for all the details. That's Gage Pool and Spa, 3025 Union Road, Gastonia, in the Food Line Plaza at Robinwood Crossing. Open 7 days a week.
Now you can earn 1,000 points for every night you stay at the Hampton Inn. It's part of the Hampton Inn's Grand Nights promotion. Your points will add up to unforgettable experiences. Find out more by visiting your nearest Hampton Inn. You'll always come back with a tale to share. Start turning points into stories worth sharing. Visit the Hampton Inn on Remount Road in Gastonia and start earning your points today.
I didn't even listen. What kind of music you playing in there, Smoke? Do you know?
That's Wings.
Wings. Paul McCartney. There are probably 50 to 60 Paul McCartney songs you could have played, Smoke, that me and the rest of the world would have known. But you're in there jamming the Wings. What are you doing?
I don't know. I mean,
Terry, hold on. Let's watch this. Terry, name Paul McCartney songs. Go.
You can forget it.
You don't know any Beatles songs?
Yeah, I know some Beatles songs.
Well, there you go, Dodo.
know,
what are you talking about? You can forget it.
I mean...
All right, Terry Reinhardt, the music extraordinaire, music aficionado. Terry, what kind of music did you listen to growing up?
Cameo, Barcase, Confunction.
What is that?
You know.
What kind of words are you saying
well,
right
that's
now?
what I'm saying. We got a whole group out there that knows who every one of them are.
I would hope not listen to this show. Who? Cameo? All right, well, I don't even know what kind of music or if that's music.
Slave.
Is that an animal? Oh, what are you talking about, Terry?
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, college football. Terry Reinhardt. The rankings in college football. Should NC State be ranked ahead of the Clemson Tigers?
No, not from.
They're
you had Clemson
State,
so high.
NC State 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, but there's the problem. You had Clemson so high on account of they defending national champion. You hate to take that away from them. You know, that's the reason they was ranked so high.
But this team hadn't earned that.
No, they have
right?
not. But they fell from like a number 2 or a number 1 in some polls down to like a 7. You know, and now here's my deal with this. Okay, they fell to a number 7. Okay, when you start looking at how everybody in the ACC is ranked, Miami is undefeated. But they're right behind them. They're number 8.
That was my next question. Why is Miami not ranked ahead of Clemson?
Probably because Clemson has some better wins right now. I mean, you know, we still got a ways to.
We're doing opinions. This is college football. But here's the bad thing about that. These opinions actually affect who makes the playoffs.
Well, they do.
So this is what's so crazy and stupid about the sport.
Here's what your deal's going to be, and what's the Fighting Irish? 13th, 14th.
Yeah, well, here you know you.
But they're getting ready to play each other.
Now, who did NC State lose to?
They lost to South Carolina.
Okay, who did Clemson lose to?
Syracuse.
Who's ranked higher?
South Carolina, most likely.
Okay, then NC State should be ahead of Clemson, right?
Well, that's kind of hard. I'm not going to put State up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to.
Carolina, Appalachian State fan. I'm not a Wolfpack, but I mean, that's what aggravates me about the college football. If your team, Terry, your team is basically down a win based on your name. That's it. Clemson gets an extra win, and Alabama get extra wins basically based on their name, because they get to be ranked higher than you based on, and y'all have a better loss than they do.
So basically, if you look on the other side of it, then let's like today, Michigan and Penn State play. What a huge game that is.
Mm-hmm.
But you got Michigan ranked, what, 15th, 16th,
19th,
19th,
5-1
against a Penn State team that is ranked
second.
Okay, if you go by last year,
oh gosh,
that's what I'm talking about. Michigan blew them out. So will that happen this year? Nobody knows until they play today. But you know, when I look at stuff like that, I'm like, okay, who in the world that makes these rankings all of a sudden said, you know what, Penn State is up there, but you know, where was they at preseason, Paul? I know they was in the top 10.
Yeah, they were definitely in the top 10, I think, based off the run they had last year. And you're talking about Michigan blowing out Penn State last year. Well, last week's a perfect example of how things can change from year to year, because last year Louisville beat the doors off of Boston College on the road.
State do.
Yeah, and then this year they lost to State on the road, and they lost to Boston College at home. That team's basically Lamar Jackson, and that's it.
It is.
And if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson, then they would be unwatchable.
Yeah, man, that's just like me. What are they doing with State? You've never been there. I mean, that's what you might as well say. You've never been there. All these other teams are consistently year in, year out. So we're going to bump you up a little bit. I mean, that's just like a few weeks ago when we were talking, and I said State would go to number 20. That's where they went. Number 20, they're not going to jump them like if it was a Penn State or Michigan or somewhere like that. If Michigan would beat, here's where the problems are going to come in. Let's say Michigan beats Penn State today. Michigan's going to jump from number 19 to number 12 or 10. So they're going to jump that high in that poll just for that one win.
Based on their name.
Yeah.
But here's the question.
They will jump over North Carolina State.
Will they be ranked ahead of Penn State if they beat Penn State?
No. I don't think that's going to happen. Penn State's going to go from number 2. They will fall to number 8 or 9.
So what's a win worth? You know, well, what's it worth? You don't know. That's the craziest.
Well, I say
silliness.
You know what's going to throw a wrench into these plans?
Y'all think American Legion stuff's bad sometimes. This is just ridiculous.
Well, you know what's going to throw a wrench into a lot of people's plans if Notre Dame wins out. Because if you look, their only losses to Georgia at home, which Georgia looks to be a top 10 team easily. They have to play NC State, USC tonight.
Who Notre Dame lose to?
Georgia.
So why is Notre Dame not ranked ahead of Clemson? They lost to the number 3 team in the country. Why is Notre Dame not ranked ahead of Clemson?
Because they got to play USC today, then they got to play NC State. They got to play Stanford to end the year, and they also got to play Miami.
So all that matters in the rankings? Who they got to play 5 weeks from now? I'm talking about.
I mean, if they win out, there's no way.
Right now, this second, looking at the schedules. See, this is why the rankings shouldn't come out until now.
Well, I agree.
Yeah,
what would happen right now if the rankings didn't come out? If the rankings came out this week 5, week 6,
like high school football,
exactly.
Wait till you're 3 weeks in
because
before you ever give a rank.
It affects it. Notre Dame would be ranked ahead of Clemson right now if they came out today. They should be,
considering how college football loves Notre Dame.
Think of
and
what
they
happened.
lost to Georgia, who's 7-0, number 3 in the country. Clemson lost to Syracuse.
Yeah, think of it,
but
because when State lost to South Carolina, State was totally forgotten. So all of a sudden, South Carolina's in the top 25.
Right, and you know, I think part of it too why Clemson didn't take as big of a fall is that they are taking into account that Kelly Bryant got hurt in the first quarter of the game.
See, the problem with the voters and why the teams don't move and jump around, and here's why: because the people who have votes, if they have to change their order drastically, they're basically admitting the week before I had no idea what I was doing. And that's their job. So you're asking people to admit they suck at their job is what you're asking them to do. And you're not going to get them to do it. So you can't get these people that's doing the rankings is ever going to change that way. That's why the opinions is just ridiculous in this college, in this system. I'm so glad the basketball lets 70 teams in now, so it don't really affect anything.
You're right.
Because those last 8 teams aren't going to win anything. But at least in that, it don't really affect it. The football, it's so unfair for NC State, Notre Dame to be all ranked down there while Clemson's still sitting at 7.
Well,
who else is Clemson going to play this year?
State plays the Fighting Irish. I mean, if say Notre Dame wins today,
right?
So next week State plays Notre Dame. You're going to have a number 16 team against a number 14, 13 team. If State beats them, all they're going to do is swap. That's all they're going to do.
Listen to the rest of the games Clemson plays. Georgia Tech,
That's pretty.
That'd be
they're unranked. NC State. There's your game
at NC State. Yeah.
Then Clemson plays Florida State unranked, Citadel, tough game there, week 11, and then at South Carolina. So basically, they're going to have the exact same schedule as NC State, Terry. And if y'all beat them, y'all better be ranked ahead of them at the end of the season, no matter what Clemson does the rest of the year. Even if Clemson wins out, right? How can they say they have a better?
Well, now here's where we go
better
back
wins
to that.
and schedule than Notre Dame has.
Here's where we go back to that, because if State beats Clemson, then Clemson is no longer, to me, part of the national title hunt anyway.
They shouldn't be,
because at that time they're not even going to play for their conference championship.
But here's the thing. Here's another thing I don't like college football. They'll say because Clemson is down, they'll say the whole conference is down instead of saying NC State is up.
They will.
That's exactly what they'll say. So NC State might not. They're talking NC State could win out, and they could win the conference, win out, and they're going to keep the ACC out because NC State won it, and not Florida State, Miami, or somebody like that with that name.
And I'll say this here: as much as we're getting on to Clemson right now, they didn't have the worst loss last week. That had to go to Washington. Washington on the road can't even score 10 points against freaking Arizona State. And, I mean, as much as we're saying dogging on Clemson, at least they've played someone. Washington hasn't. I mean, and they deserve to really get grilled more than Clemson, in my opinion, just looking at it. I don't know where they are on the...
Well, we're not grilling Clemson. We're grilling the system.
Right,
for you Clemson fans, we're not bashing y'all. You got a great team and everything. And what we're just trying to say is that, and what I've been saying for years is that I don't like the system of these preseason rankings to where they matter, Terry, because you got, like I said, you got these voters where, well, I've been putting Clemson at number 2 all year. Well, maybe they're the 25th ranked best team, and you have to admit that you're totally wrong and don't know what you're doing, and they can't do that. They're not going to do that, and so Clemson might be the second best team in the nation. They just had a bad week, but we don't know that right now, and you have to reward Notre Dame and NC State and these other teams who've had better loss. Notre Dame, you can't smoke. How mad are you going to be if you guys aren't in the ACC? But what if you're in the ACC, y'all went out and Clemson gets in over y'all? Because that's how it would show right now.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Think about it. If your name, what if that was Duke? Switch Notre Dame and Duke's name right now.
I mean, that'd be mad because Duke's in the same scenario NC State's, and they'd have to win out basically, or lose only one game. Hopefully, it's not a bad loss for you guys, and then they'd have to win out. So, it's furious. And NC State, this is the best team they've had in 10, 12 years, probably since Phillip Rivers was there. This is the most complete team they've had. It's been a fun team to watch too.
Yeah, but the worst thing about this, Smoking, you know as well as I do, as far as North Carolina State goes, they have to go unbeaten. Mm-hmm. If they have one loss, everybody's going to
Duke, North Carolina, anybody
put
not
them
named
totally
Clemson,
out
Miami,
of it. Like
Florida
you
State
should not
have
be
to go
playing.
unbeaten. There's 10 to 15 teams. There's about 10 to 15 teams in the country that can lose one. Alabama can lose 2 games.
Yeah, they can, and they still think
they'll get it, and they'll put them, and they think they should be in the national title game. Alabama can lose 2 games.
They don't even get the conference championship game. They still can win a national title. We've seen that happen before.
I mean, think about it. That's how crazy. It makes me so mad. Anyway,
and this year I do think we could possibly see a team with 2 losses get into the playoffs. With how much pandemonium has happened already in the season.
What is the lowest ranked team in your poll that is unbeaten?
South Florida and you and Central Florida are the lowest ones on that. I think they're about 16 and 20. I actually looked that up yesterday, kind of trying to look at the lowest unbeaten big conference. Miami is at 8. South Florida is tied at 16 with NC State, and Central Florida is at 20. Is that Lane Kiffin?
No, he's at FAU.
Oh, Florida.
Atlantic, yeah. Charlie Strong's at South Florida, the former Texas coach.
Okay. And down here at the bottom, as you look, you got Auburn, Stanford, West Virginia, and LSU, all with 2 losses, and they're up in front of some teams that will only have 1 loss. But then, you kind of look, because who's the other team?
Terry.
Memphis.
Let's look at LSU's 5-2 stellar record that's got them in the top 25. They beat BYU and Chattanooga. Tough games.
They combined 2 wins.
They lost to Mississippi State. They beat Syracuse, who beat Clemson. Then they lost to Troy.
At home.
Then they beat Florida and beat Auburn. Is that rewarding of a top 25? Questionable. They got good wins, but got terrible losses.
Yeah.
Well, I would look back and say, okay, what is Troy? What's their record?
They're actually pretty darn good.
Yeah, they're pretty decent.
They're a good non-Power 5, but still, if
I mean,
you
their
program like
overall
LSU
record
can't
might
lose
not
to
be, but I think they've played some.
Troy's not having any
schools.
top 25 votes. If that gives you any suggestion of exactly where they're at, you can go up here and look at. Look at Auburn. See what they've done this year. They beat Georgia Southern, Mercer, Missouri, Mississippi State, and Mississippi.
Their best wins is Mississippi State,
while losing to Clemson and LSU.
That's not really impressive.
Does NC State have a better?
Clemson and LSU, and we lost to South Carolina, so you would think theirs is from who they lost to. If you go by names,
Smoke's talking about Smoke's talking about Washington. I just the page moved on me, and I clicked on the ad instead of Washington. Let's go look at Washington real quick before we get ready to take our next break and do. Let's pick our games. Here's Washington. They beat Rutgers, Montana, Fresno State, Colorado, Oregon State, and Cal, and then lost to unranked Arizona State. And they're ranked 12th, ahead of NC State.
Yeah,
ahead of Notre Dame.
Yeah, their most impressive win is against Colorado.
So they're ranked ahead of Notre Dame, Smoke. What in the world? And Notre Dame lost to the number 3 team in the nation. And they lost to Arizona State. That's how bad preseason rankings affect.
It was based on last year.
Yeah, that's how bad it affects it. All right. Just folks, wait till week 5.
Yeah.
Is that all we need, Terry? Wait till
I
week
agree.
5. All right. Maryland at number 5, Wisconsin. Who you got?
Wisconsin.
Oklahoma State at Texas. Number 10 at Texas.
There you go. Shoot your guns.
Cowboys. We'll pick this from my roommate in college. The Akron Zips at the Toledo Rockets.
Toledo.
Akron.
Don't ever, Terry. Ever, if you're going to put your money on it, pick against the Akron Zips. They'll win no matter what. I'm telling you. Just inside information, Smoke. They'll pull the upset. Listen, they're not ranked. Hey, big game today. Louisville and Florida State. Oh, my bad. They're not ranked. You can get tickets. You get tickets for $9.
I mean, how is that? That was such a big matchup last year before they faced.
Yeah.
And
$9
Neither
tickets.
one of them ranked.
Yeah.
Louisville and Florida State today. Let's see. Going on down the line. There's your Troy. They're playing at Georgia State today.
And they're playing at Turner Field.
There you go. Tennessee at number 1 Alabama. Can the Vols roll Tide?
That. Tennessee, they have a hard time winning whenever they play.
Well, I mean, heck, do you think Butch Jones will get the Lane Kiffin treatment after this game?
I got a feeling it's coming.
Syracuse at number 8 Miami. You can get a ticket right now, folks, for $4.
Can Syracuse pull another upset?
No.
I didn't think so. Neither.
Hey, if Syracuse wins this game, the ACC has to give them a banner. The best orange-colored team in the ACC.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
They beat Clemson. If they beat Clemson and Miami, they're the best orange team in the ACC. I guess they got to beat Virginia too. North Carolina at number 14, Virginia Tech. The Duke fan folks, Smoke over here says Carolina's going to take a beating today.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I take the spread, and it's like 21 in favor of Virginia Tech.
Guys, I want to report something real quick before we go any further. We got breaking news. In Boone today, Coastal Carolina is at Appalachian State, Smoke. And again, the most expensive ticket in the nation today is in Boone, North Carolina.
You guys really like jacking the prices
The
up.
most expensive ticket in the
Y'all
nation
must
is
be
Boone,
wanting
North
to
Carolina.
expand that stadium or
People
something.
love watching. People love watching good football, guys.
Well, it's
they
not
make
going to
a
be
big
a
charging the heck out of people.
Who
to
they
come
host
watch.
earlier? Was it Miami?
It was that was last year. They hosted Wake
This year
Forest.
it was Wake Forest. Wake Forest was the tickets were going like wasn't it like
God.
100? Wasn't it
160,
160 something?
170, yeah.
But this week the highest price ticket right now in college. So, I'm gonna change my mind. That was before I rolled the page down. Smoke.
Okay.
There's 2 that are higher and it's not even close. So they're third. Appalachian's third this week with $61 a ticket. The other 2 highest priced tickets, they're just astronomical.
Well, then when you look at the games, you're not surprised.
And Michigan at Penn State, Terry, you can get a ticket for $355 today. Or you can go to the Miami game and buy, almost about 91, 92 tickets and go see Miami and Syracuse for the same price for 1 ticket at Penn State. $355 for Penn State tickets today. Notre Dame tickets today going for $169. Let's scroll back up. We'll get to those in just a second. Finish this up. Indiana at number 18, Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State.
Central Florida, number 20 at Navy.
Central Florida.
I'm going Navy here.
And number 16, South Florida at Tulane.
South Florida.
Yeah.
Number 24, LSU at Ole Miss.
LSU.
All right, guys. Harbaugh at 19, Michigan at Penn State.
I'm
number
going to
2.
tell you what. Michigan knocks them off.
I still got Penn State.
I got Penn State by 30. USC. No, I don't need to be. I got Penn State, though. USC, number 11. And number 13, Notre Dame.
Oh, it's a coin flip here, depending on if the quarterback for Notre Dame's.
Did Notre Dame lose to Georgia at home?
Yeah.
Okay, they'll lose this one.
Well, and freaking Georgia took over freaking South Bend that day. So, but heck, I'll go Notre Dame.
21, Auburn at Arkansas.
Auburn.
Kansas at number 4, TCU.
TCU as much as they want.
West Virginia, number 23 at Baylor.
West Virginia.
Can you
All
believe
they want to score?
The spread for that game is only 9? And that is awful. Take West Virginia all the way.
And finally, Colorado at number 15, Washington State Cougars.
Washington State, they're going to be mad after blowing that game last week.
All right, guys, it's time for another break here on Campers Inn of Kings Mountain Sports Talk on WLON 1050 AM, WCSL 1590 AM, watching live on KTCBroadcasting.com. Good morning to all of our viewers. Well, thanks for watching. Let's say hello to my family at home watching there on the PlayStation. You can watch us. Thank you, folks. We were on YouTube. So what that also means, if you got the YouTube app on any of your tablets, phones, pull that up. Also, if you have the YouTube app on your Xboxes, PlayStations, Rokus, Apple TVs, any type of internet TV, you can pull us up, KTC, on Friday nights, watch high school sports. You can also watch our sports talk shows and our morning shows here on YouTube. All right, we'll be back in a minute talking baseball and NFL and NASCAR and NBA on KTCBroadcasting.com.
It's the grand reopening celebration at Renato Auto Mall. It's a grand event with grand savings. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join the boss as we broadcast live during this special event this Saturday, October 21st, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Drop by and enjoy a free hot dog, chips, and soft drinks, and register to win some great prizes, including Southern Christmas Show certificates, free rounds of golf, free food certificates, T-shirts, and more. And be sure to visit Renato Cadillac Buick GMC and register to win a self-propelled GMC riding toy truck. And check out the great deals at all 3 locations. Ask about special financing and huge discounts. So plan now to be there this Saturday, October 21st, during the grand reopening celebration at Renato Cadillac Buick GMC, Renato Kia, and Renato Honda. All at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. It's Mush, Music, and Mutts this Saturday in Uptown Shelby from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Join Captain Ron and Gerald Weathers as they broadcast live from this event. Our reports are being brought to you by Sandy's Country Christmas on West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, by West End Sales on Highway 18 North in Vale, by Sism & Son Paint and Body Shop on Shelby Road in Kings Mountain, by Webb Chemical and Paper Company on West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, by Summit Place on Sism Road in Kings Mountain, by Victoria Stevens on East Marion Street in Uptown Shelby, by Terminix on Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, by Trackside Trader on South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, by Whiskers, Nails, and Puppy Dog Tails on the Washburn Switch Road in Shelby, by Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Cadillac Buick GMC at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. So join us for our live radio remote broadcast this Saturday, October 21st during Mush, Music, and Mutts in Uptown Shelby. It's Mountaineer Days this Friday and Saturday in Kings Mountain. Pick up this week's What's Up Shopper for the complete schedule of events. Brought to you in part by Keith Bradley Insurance Services in downtown Kings Mountain, by West End Sales, Highway 18 North in Vale, C&P Storage off Highway 161 South in Kings Mountain, right behind Wendy's, by Trackside Trader on South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, by Dellinger Jewel Shop on West Mountain Street, downtown Kings Mountain, by Summit Place on Pfeiffer Road in Kings Mountain, by Floor in America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain, by Sism & Son Paint and Body Shop on Shelby Road in Kings Mountain, by Hometown Hardware on South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, by Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, by Love's Fish Box on Shelby Road in Kings Mountain, and by Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain. Don't miss Mountaineer Days this weekend in Kings Mountain. Again, get the schedule of events in this week's What's Up Shopper.
Head to the mountain. Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, that is, for a great golf outing. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $27. Seniors age 65 and older can play and ride Monday through Friday for $24. Play and ride weekends and holidays for $37. After 1 p.m., play and ride for $32. Make your tee time today at 704-734-0383 for the Crowder's Mountain Golf Course. Play at the mountain today.
Now you can earn 1,000 points for every night you stay at the Hampton Inn. It's part of the Hampton Inn's Grand Nights promotion. Your points will add up to unforgettable experiences. Find out more by visiting your nearest Hampton Inn. You'll always come back with a tale to share. Start turning points into stories worth sharing. Visit the Hampton Inn on Remount Road in Gastonia and start earning your points today.
Hey, you don't have to be a member of the Cherryville Golf and Country Club to come out and eat. Everyone is welcome. Try their famous Sunday buffet from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. And they're open for dinner each and every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night from 5 p.m. until. And ask about their chicken on the run on Sundays. Get a whole chicken and 2 sides for only $14.50. Place your order by calling 704-435-6597 for your chicken on the run. Voted the best chicken in Cherryville at the Cherryville Golf and Country Club off Roy Acre Road in Cherryville.
Ooh, Game 7. Yankees Astros. CC Sabathia versus Charlie Morton. Tickets are available, $116, Terry.
I mean, if you just hear that and people go, who is Morton? I mean, that's exactly what they, but I mean, this is what situation they put themselves in. But here you are, Game 7, Sabathia against Morton.
Charlie Morton on the season, 14-7, 163 strikeouts, 3.62 ERA with a 1.19 WHIP. So he's a 9-year veteran. He's in the Blue League for 9 years, and I've never heard of him. So,
and he's in your Game 7 deciding factor.
Game 7, Astros and Yankees. The winner gets the LA Dodgers, who kind of ran away from the season and then took about a month or two off. I guess they went to the beach with the Giants wide receivers and took a boat trip or something for about a month. But they're back on track now. They're in the World Series. First time in 30 years, almost 30 years, 29. Mm-hmm. And, it's kind of weird, I guess, thinking about that, seeing that, Dodgers used to be really good teams and have had some good teams over the years, just had never got it back together. I'm glad they knocked out the Cubs, though. I'm happy about that. There was a guy last night I saw wearing an Atlanta Braves hat from the 70s. The A, the
good old logo.
Well, he had the Joe Madden glasses on and a hoodie, a blue hoodie. So I saw him from the side, and I didn't see the A, and I was like, Dennis, it's Joe Madden. He's at the Kings Mountain Burns game. Looked just like him. And the guy turned around and he has an Atlanta Braves hat on. But, that was fun last
Braves
night.
haven't had a good offseason. I think they're being investigated by the MLB or something.
Yeah, they're having some problems.
Yeah.
But back to the baseball. But the Dodgers did Terry back in the World Series. It's Kurt Gibson home run out back in the days. And glad I got rid of the Cubs. Don't have to deal with that mess anymore. The Cardinals going to have a bad year. Their GM has got to step it up and make some moves. You got to get some studs. They need some bats. But anyway, Game 7 tonight. Who you guys got? Tonight. Who you guys got?
Oh, if you just go by pitching wise, you're gonna say the Yankees. But then I look at it and said no team on this series has won on the road.
Are you picking the 5'5" guy and Charlie Morton, or are you picking the 6'7" guy and CC Sabathia?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, everything's in the Yankees' favor, isn't it?
Well,
Any
it
way
should
you about
be,
look at it,
except
for home field.
Yeah, home field,
Well,
and
let me tell you
that's
about
what has
something.
won so far.
It's not like the Astros aren't familiar with having their hearts ripped out at home field. So I remember Albert Pujols hit a home run there one time that still hasn't landed. Went flying past the train tracks, smoking. I'll tell you one thing right now, Smoke. there's a room in Boone, North Carolina that has a dent in its ceiling where my head hit it when Pujols knocked that ball about 500 feet. I mean, it was. I called Dad and said, "Your first son's going to be named Albert, by the way." And hey, it was Austin. I got close. I didn't know my wife by then, so she wouldn't go with Albert, Terry. And she definitely, for some reason, wouldn't let me name my son Pujols. So I don't. So I didn't get that going, but I mean, yeah, Houston has had some postseason struggles, let's say, over the years, and now you've got the New York Yankees staring at you at home. It's gonna be tough. You guys both going Yankees? Either one of you going Astros?
I think I'm going to Astros. I think that being at home is going to be the difference because the Yankees had a 3-2 lead. They could have ended it last night. I mean, that was their perfect opportunity. You just don't want to go to a Game 7 on the road, and usually when you're on the road in Game 7, you lose. So,
yeah, and I'm with you, Smoke. I'm going the same thing. I think Houston's going to win. I think that home field is the biggest thing in this thing, and Houston playing at home and all the fans in the game, I think it just brings out a little bit more in how them guys, even the younger guys on this team, play. I mean, they feel more comfortable playing at home.
And they have a better bullpen too.
All right, guys, let's take another quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We've got NASCAR, NFL, and NBA to get to as we got Yankees and Astros tonight. Smoke, real quick, let's go over today's broadcasting schedule. We got Tim Johnson and Ken Link. They're out at the Lincoln Business Expo in downtown Lincoln. We've got Captain Ron and the gang out at the Mush Music and Mutts Festival. I'm going to go out there and maybe defend a title. Maybe not. I don't know. We got to talk to Ozzy and see if he's up to doing some tricks today. Then we got Mountaineer Days. Guys, go out there and check that out. That was going on yesterday and today. I'll take the beef. I'll finish taking my family there. Then, of course, we've got to go back first. Our first stop this morning is going to be at Ronaldo Auto Mall and get some hot dogs out there from Calvin and the gang. Free hot dogs. Go see Will. Will's actually at the music festival this morning, the Mush Festival this morning. They got a tent up there, Terry, showing off he said a GMC truck. And so see him up there, and you got to get him between liver mush biscuits.
Will. My whole deal for Will is just enjoy it now, Will, before you fall below 500 and fade to the bottom.
the poor old Packers. We're going to talk about them poor old Packers in just a minute. We'll be right back. WLON 1050 AM. WCSL 1590 AM and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Cole Custer's wounded Chevrolet goes to the bottom of the racetrack.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series Playoffs.
Justin Allgaier trying to make things happen here inside the top 5.
Race 4.
Here's Elliott Sapper.
And the final 8 contenders hope to hit the jackpot in Kansas.
Junior Motorsports teammates within a car length of each other off of turn 2.
The Kansas Lottery 300.
The intensity meter is pegged.
Saturday at 2:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series Kansas City Lottery 300 this Saturday at 2:30 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. It's the grand opening of the new Ronaldo Honda. The renovations are complete, and you're invited to drop by our new showroom. Check out the great deals this month, like 0.9% APR financing for the 2017 Honda Civics and Honda Accords. Offer ends October 31st. And check out the great specials in the service department. Don't get left out in the cold with a free winter battery test. And right now, get an oil change, tire rotation, and balancing, only $74.95. Don't miss the deals during the grand opening celebration at the new Ronaldo Honda, located at Ronaldo Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Join us to celebrate the show's silver and gold 50th anniversary and shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets online and save at SouthernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Today, more and more people are shopping and getting their information online. Here at KTC Broadcasting, we're making our websites easier for you to find out what you're looking for. At KTCBroadcasting.com, you can listen to all 3 of our radio stations, plus watch live video of high school sports, American Legion Baseball, Christmas parades, and other special events. At WhatsUpShopper.com, you'll find all kinds of deals from our local merchants. Shop our eBay store. plus swap shop items, along with community and church events and our local news. And at LincolnCounty.com, you'll find all the information you need concerning Lincoln County. From local businesses to government to school information, even today's local weather forecast. So click on and enjoy. That's KTCBroadcasting.com, thewhatsupshopper.com, and LincolnCounty.com. The future is today.
Brian Reese of North Lincoln High School is this month's McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Brian is the son of John and Dawn Reese and is a junior at North Lincoln High School. Brian is the #1 runner for the North Lincoln cross country team and also runs indoor and outdoor track. Brian has an A grade point average of 4.3438, and his advanced courses include AP Government and Politics, AP History, and AP Calculus. Extracurricular activities include member of the Beta Club, Habitat for Humanity, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Brian is a member of the Denver United Methodist Church and is involved in mission trips, the youth group, and Sunday school. He also helps with Vacation Bible School and the North Lincoln Track Clinic. After graduation, Brian would like a career as a physical therapist or go into business. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also overall achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship.
It's Rib Night Friday and Saturday nights at the Parkway House in Cherryville. Get a half rack of twin-sided ribs for just $9.95. Get a full rack of twin-sided ribs for just $13.95. And remember the Parkway House in Cherryville for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Again, it's Rib Night Friday and Saturday nights at the Parkway House, Highway 150 East in Cherryville.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Campers in Sports Talk. KTCBroadcasting.com. Smoke, I forgot to get some complaints in college football. I forgot to talk about the Tar Heels and how Larry Fedora, I don't know what in the world he's doing. If he would explain or they would be more open, I guess, to and kind of clear up exactly what happened this past week. There's mixed reports whether Surratt was sick, but then Fedora said he was available. But Brandon Harris had a better week in practice, Terry. When 5 weeks, he ain't said nothing about a quarterback battle. And looking at the team, is the quarterback the reason they're 1-6 right now? I mean,
no.
What is?
Well, I mean, we've mentioned anyway, and Smoke's probably with me. When you got quarterbacks and you're trying to decide who is the better one to have in there or who's not the one to have in there, when you've battled this and you're in, game 7 or 8 for them now, it's too late.
Yeah.
I mean, look at your record.
We all thought that was over. All Tar Heel fans thought that was over with.
I mean, it's just too long now. I mean, when you're still trying to figure out a starter. But anyway, I mean, Chaz, as far as Chaz goes, he's done okay.
Tell people, Terry. Tell everybody. It's an open competition every week. Now, what about all the Tar Heel fans? What about all the, what if there's Chaz Surratt fans or East Lincoln fans that drove all the way down there? Nobody knew he wasn't going to start. They get down there, and he's not playing. They're starting Brandon Harris down there. And the reason is because the coach, he said, because he had a better week at practice. Now, was it because Chaz was sick during practice? But you have to tell... you have to tell the reason why. This is the quarterback position, and you just or otherwise it just seems they're making it up.
Or here's the other situation. Say I am the coach, and all of a sudden I said, okay, our season's over with anyway, so I'm going to give Harris the chance because he's the senior. He's the guy that's going to leave.
Say it.
So just finish it out with him. Chaz, hang around. You'll be our starter next year.
I agree. Look, if that's the reason, say it and do it. Let him play. I guess we're giving away participation awards now for transfers because you automatically get to play. But let's look at the stats right now. Chaz, 58.8%. Brandon Harris, 51.7%. Chaz, yards per attempt, 6.87. Brandon Harris, 5.3. Touchdowns, Chaz, 6. Interceptions, 3. Brandon Harris, touchdowns, 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions. Chaz quarterback rating 124.6. Brandon Harris 82.2. If you don't have 100 in college football, you're not doing good at all. Okay, it's not the same ratings as NFL.
Yeah.
So if you're not at 100 in college football, you're doing terrible. 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions. You know what? Here's how else bad he was. He was, I think, it was 7 for 16 or 18. No, 7 of 18 on Sunday or last Saturday. Now remember, he had a better week than Chaz did in practice. So I guess Chaz was 5 of 20 in practice this week, and he just said, we're going to stick the guy in there at 7 of 18. Now, Terry, he had 46 yards passing, 3 interceptions. You know how many interception return yards Virginia had? 56. The Virginia defensive backs had more receiving yards than the Carolina receivers. But that guy had a better week of practice. Let's play him. Holy Christmas, if that's the reason that he should be fired right now. If it's not the reason, if it's we're going to play Brandon Harris because he's a senior, Chaz is sick, those are good reasons. But just to put the guy in because you said he had a better week of practice, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
That's when you're messing up, because if you still haven't decided which one, then again.
Have you ever heard that in the history of football, Terry? Think about this. Has anyone ever heard of not knowing that there's a quarterback position? You know, what if this week, all of a sudden, who's Derek Anderson had a great week of practice. We're going to start him this week instead of Cam Newton, Smoke. Do you not think Panther Nation would lose their collective mind over something like that?
Something similar happened last year. Cam Newton didn't wear a tie going on to the. So something like that actually has happened.
And y'all did lose y'all's minds, right?
Yes, because it was stupid.
But Derek Anderson didn't play the whole game. Cam came in.
He played one snap and he threw an interception.
Okay, so yeah, that's all Brandon Harris should have done Saturday, was thrown that first pick and then put Chaz. It's just silly. But if they want to call it, I don't know, Terry. From an outsider, you might not care as much as I did, or and I guess we care more because it is Chaz, as somebody we know. But that's a terrible way to handle a quarterback situation. I personally think.
It is for me, because I'm thinking of, are you not worrying about the season? Do you not care now on account of you're going to have a losing season?
Yeah, what is his mindset?
Are you waiting, give Chaz more starts now where he's going to feel more comfortable next year when he has the starting position for himself? Or if you're giving Harris the chance, then I'm like you, just come out and say it. I'm going to finish him off, give him a chance to make the NFL, because nobody's getting to see him. This is his chance to prove himself.
Well, as far as the NFL goes, I'm pretty. That ship has sailed. You 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions. You're gonna get to try out. You're gonna get to go to the combine.
You are gonna get to do every bit of that.
I'm not saying he's not gonna make it. The players make the NFL all the time based on what their body type and everything. Anyway, so he's not gonna say that's not. People are surprised to me when I say I think Chaz might get drafted, even if he doesn't have a great career year. He's a stud. He can throw the ball as far as he can, as big as he is, Terry. Somebody's going to say, well, he might want to put him on the practice squad or something. Even if he plateaued from here on out, just body type, somebody's going to give him a look. And Brandon Harris will have a chance at that.
Yeah, and I have a hard time when you say he's a left-hander. Once he's a left-hander, to me, he's. How many left-handers do I know there's ever in the NFL that were bad?
Yeah, that you don't get there and not. There's not a lot of backup lefties.
That's exactly right. So they're more than likely pretty good.
Yeah, the lefties at the quarterback end up being pretty. I guess Dallas just cut them a lefty. Kellen Moore got cut. I liked Kellen Moore a little bit. He had a little rough time. Smoke, you got a caller in there? Just somebody?
That was actually Tim Johnson. He said he agrees with you.
Oh, okay. About what?
The whole Carolina situation.
Yeah. Just absolutely silly. Yeah. You go see Tim and the gang out there at the Lincoln Business Expo today and check them out. Talk to them. They'll talk sports with you and anything else you want to talk about Lincoln County. But it's just, I feel bad for if that's the. I don't think we know what we're supposed to know about it. It's hard for me. I want to get mad. I want to have an opinion about it, and I do. But
I like it when Carolina fans are angry.
It's just silly. It's just
State fans sit over here and we love it.
Well, Terry, if y'all just need to worry about cleaning up y'all's program over at NC State and all these ineligible players that y'all got in the basketball team. It's so clean at North Carolina. Y'all got to.
It's funny though when you mention stuff like that. I know. when you go to ACC
That
wise,
stuff don't bother me, but
well, all that
it
stuff
does
coming
bother
out.
other people.
There's only 3 teams in the ACC who have Adidas.
Yeah.
You know, and it's Louisville, Miami, and State. And it's scary. You know?
Dennis Smith, hello.
That's what I'm saying. That's scary.
And didn't your coach from the Rick Pitino coaching tree too, Terry?
Yeah, he is.
so a lot of stones being thrown at glass houses in Raleigh right now.
Yeah, and so then when Miami all of a sudden come up this past week, you know, I said,
they've already had their issues before too.
So 2 out of the 3 have been touched on.
Everybody's just waiting to get in that Coach K secret bank account that nobody knows about.
I know he probably is doing something.
Everybody wants to know about that Coach K bank account, that private school bank account, and where all that money is coming from and going to. All right, we got to take a break. That was my. No, hold on. Let's smoke. Let's finish up. Let's switch over real quick to while we're talking about that. Let's do 5 or 10 minutes real quick on. Wait a minute. We got breaks. We got 2 more breaks.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's hold on. Let's switch over real quick. We were supposed to talk some NASCAR in that section. Let's go to NASCAR right now, and then we'll come back and finish up with NFL and NBA. Smoke this weekend at Kansas, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it'll be the cutoff race for the round of 12.
Over in last week in Talladega, everybody on the track wrecked to try to get Dale a win, Terry, didn't they?
Yeah, and we still finished 7th. We started 3rd and we kept going backwards. And I'm like, wait.
The big one just kept happening inside the last 20 laps there, taking out cars left and right. They finished with, how many cars were on the track? Did
About
they say?
10 or 11 were on the
12.
And this is
That's what I'm
restrictor plate.
saying. There wasn't many on that final lap.
And I think the announcers made the best point during that was that, think about the racing now. They've been going for 400 miles racing in a 30-40 car pack. Now now they're down to 10 cars.
Yeah,
it's
that's
totally
what Dale
different.
Jr. said.
It's different. What do I do?
Yeah, but the first thing come about Dale Jr. when they asked him, he says, "Well, I don't know what to do." He said, "I've never had to run in this kind of a race, Talladega, with only this few of the cars."
Well, it reminds you of a few years back when they had the cars where it was the 2-car drafts. We're around the top 10 positions at Talladega that you ended up with a partner. And you drove around like that.
I
That's
never
what it kind of.
like that.
I hated that too.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of looked like those last few laps with like 10 cars on the pack, as everybody trying to figure out, who's the fastest one out here, who's going to get the best run. It was a melee.
And looking at this week, Kansas is not really an exciting track, but looking at some of the guys that are outside looking in, you got Kyle Busch, who's had a rough round of 12, and Matt Kenseth, 2 former champions that are on the outside looking in. Then you look who's on the cutoff line right at the last spot is Jimmy Johnson. So, I mean, we could see a very big name get eliminated this time because I think unless a miracle happens, Jamie McMurray and Ricky Stenhouse are gone after this weekend. But, I mean,
how far is Bush back? 7 points?
Yes, 7 points.
7
and then
points.
Matt Kenseth's back 8 points. But, I mean, they can still get it done with the way these stage work so they can get more points depending on where Jimmy's at. But, I mean, especially Kyle Busch, I could see him winning this race, and I actually picked him to win the race.
Well, I watched Kevin Harvick and Chad Knaus on one of the NASCAR shows the other day, and they were talking. Knaus was making it very obvious that you need this week to look at who at qualifying. Whoever qualifies top 5, top 10 this week, those are going to be the ones that to look to do well and advance it, because he was talking about these extra points that that Martin Truex has been grabbing up the whole year in these stages.
Yeah.
That's going to make the difference here in this cutoff. Whether him and Blaney and Elliott, he said their plan is to come in this weekend, do their best to qualify, win the pole, get as high as they can, and win. You've got to win some of those early stage points. So. Because that may be the difference. If you're tied with somebody, you win a stage point, and they're in the back changing tires for a lap. You go on even if they beat you in the race.
Okay, my question for y'all, Smoke and Kevin, maybe y'all have looked into this more than I have, but when you get to the final race and it's the last one, there's only 4 guys left. Does points go over into that race, or are y'all even?
Nope, it's all even. Whoever finishes best in that one race, it's a championship free.
That's what I was wanting to make
that's
sure.
What
I did not know whether.
That's what I don't
like
about it. I really don't like, because you've already eliminated all these drivers, right?
Yeah, but why would you want to have a final race with nobody having a chance? This guy's already won it.
Well, you've done that for 50 years.
Yeah,
and that might not be true, Terry. I don't know the best way to do it. I think I even almost think it should be just 2 drivers. The 4 drivers for a championship. I mean, think about it. For 50, how many ever years NASCAR's been around, you're giving the 4th best driver
an opportunity,
and the 3rd best driver an opportunity for all it takes is a flat tire, and
or
suddenly the 4th best driver is the champion of the sport.
Yeah. The only time before these this version of the playoffs started that we had more than like 2 or 3 guys in it to win the championship was that one year in '92 where they had 6 drivers with a chance to win it, and then the first year of the then called Chase back in 2004. I think they had 4 drivers then, and that was a different format where it was just 10 races. You had 10 drivers. You didn't have eliminations, and that came down to the wire too. So, up until 2014, those are the only 2 instances I can think of off the top of my head where more than 2 or 3 drivers.
And now with 4 drivers, it also brings up the problem, Smoke and Terry. Well, if there's only 2 drivers on the track going for a championship, there's 40 other cars or 38 other cars out there that are racing to win this race.
Yes, they are.
So they only have to worry about 2 guys. Hey, I might have to let Truex and Jimmy by, and so I don't want to mess their championship up. Now there's 4 guys out there, so they've got to worry about 4 people in their rearview mirror. Whether or not do I let this guy go? Do I block? How do I race him as hard? Do I race Martin Truex as hard as I do Jimmy? How does all that work? Think about what if you had 2 teammates in the final 4? You're outside the final 4. Do you wreck one of the other 3 guys or other 2 guys? So one of your teammates. I mean, there's so many variables for the 4 drive. There's no other sport that allows 4 people that can win a championship. In the final, it'd be like, I guess wrestling or boxing or MMA saying, hey, we're gonna put 4 guys in there, and whoever comes out is the champion.
Yeah, I would hate to know that I got to the last race and just on account of I was in my pits and a lug nut got stuck. That cost me a championship, and maybe I went into it as the number 1 guy, and all of a sudden I finished 4th because of a lug nut.
Yeah, what if Martin Truex dominates the whole season like he has, and then Ricky Stenhouse sneaks in these final 8, and then like Smoke said, like he says, what if Ricky Stenhouse pulls that championship out of this? Really.
But I guess as a driver, you're lucky that you're one of the 4. Yeah. I mean, I guess you got to be happy that you're 1.
You can win 7 out of the 10 final races and come in about 12th or 13th in the first 3, and not win the championship. So there's a lot of loopholes in the system, and until like most systems and most things, until that loophole is broken, or till it's it just abused or causes a problem, they're not going to change it. They're not going to change it until they fix it. All right.
Well, I just want to go over to qualifying because
we need to do
that. The guys that are outside looking in right now: Matt Kenseth starts 3rd, Kyle Busch starts 7th, Jamie McMurray starts 8th, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Starts 24th. Jimmy Johnson, who is right on the cutoff line, he starts 12th.
So, not as good as what Chad Knaus and the gang wanted.
And Truex is on the pole. So,
I mean, it's Toyota, man. They've got a little bit more power, 5 more horsepower. They've got just a little bit more than everybody else. Ford's close. Ford's really close. But Chevy, they're down something. They don't have some fenders ain't right.
They lost Stuart Haas, so that didn't help.
Yeah. Jimmy and them, they just don't have the speed. They just don't. All right, Terry, you got another comment or anything before we get out of here?
I just getting little comments coming in from some of our fans out here saying the Yankees are not even the 4th best team, but they got a chance.
Well, yeah, that might be true.
I mean, they got nothing to do with racing,
but they have a chance, but they're in the playoffs. They don't get to go if the Yankees lose this series. If Yankees lose tonight, they don't get to come back and play in the World Series.
That's right. You have no chance then.
I mean, Carolina has a chance to beat Virginia Tech today, but that ain't going to happen.
Smoke right now, it's tied 0-0.
That's right. Then they have to start playing
after the first quarter. It was North Carolina 0, Notre Dame 0. Smoke before you go over tooting that horn in there. You chill out.
Then they scored like on the first play of the second quarter.
Hey, at one time, the Cherryville Ironmen were beating the Shelby Golden Lions 6-0 in 1998.
Look out!
Now things happen. So
1998. That is a year that Chris Norman went on to win a state title. Yeah.
See, then they were losing to Cherryville. They were losing to Cherryville at one point in that season. So anything can happen. All right, Smoke. When we come back, we're going to talk illegal hits to quarterbacks. Are they illegal? Are they driving the quarterbacks in the ground? Did Aaron Rodgers take a bad hit? It looks like.
Quit whining.
It looks like the same illegal tackle that Thomas Davis put on Tony Romo. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Country Gold with Terry Clark.
I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Gold with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons 1 to 5 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. It's Mountaineer Day this Friday and Saturday in Kings Mountain. Pick up this week's What's Up Shopper for the complete schedule of events. Brought to you in part by Keith Bradley Insurance Services in downtown Kings Mountain, by Weston Sales, Highway 18 North in Vail, CNP Storage off Highway 161 South in Kings Mountain, right behind Wendy's, by Trackside Trailer on South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, by Dellinger Jewel Shop on West Mountain Street, downtown Kings Mountain, by Summit Place on Pfeiffer Road in Kings Mountain, by Flooring America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain, by Sism & Son Paint and Body Shop on Shelby Road in Kings Mountain, by Hometown Hardware on South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, by Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, by Love's Fish Box on Shelby Road in Kings Mountain, and by Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain. Don't miss Mountaineer Days this weekend in Kings Mountain. Again, get the schedule of events in this week's What's Up Shopper.
This is man-to-man, hand-to-hand combat between two joking racing teammates.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs.
Kevin Harvick loving this more than anybody else. It's allowing him to drive away.
Race 6, and 4 drivers will be eliminated from contention in Kansas.
Kevin Harvick trying to overcome problems on pit road today.
The Hollywood Casino 400.
He has a commanding lead.
Sunday at 2 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Hollywood Casino 400. This Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Once Upon a Time is now. Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. Presented by Harris Teeter and Pepsi. 12 stages of nonstop entertainment.
Because it is just so much fun for everybody in the family. It doesn't matter what age you are.
A medieval amusement park, comedy, daredevil antics, and giant roasted turkey legs.
We love the Renaissance Festival.
Jousting nights, men in tights, shopping, music, dance, incredible value, and delicious foods.
We love to come and eat our way through the festival. Amazing things to eat, the turkey legs and the crepes and everything else. It's a highlight of our trip every year.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Discount tickets at Harris Teeter or RenFestInfo.com.
Come to the Renaissance Festival.
Sunday lunch can only mean one thing, a trip to Mitchum's Kitchen in Vail, of course, for their famous fried chicken. Try their Sunday lunch special for only $7.29. Select from fried chicken, chicken rice and gravy, or barbecue, with the freshest vegetables including green beans, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, baked beans, and more. All topped off with one of their famous desserts. Come out this Sunday for some good old home cooking. Mitchum's Kitchen, Highway 27 West at the 274 intersection in Vail.
It's time to tee it up at the Found Mountain Golf Course. Play and ride all day, Monday through Friday for $28. Senior rate is $25. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $21. Seniors play for $18. Play and ride weekends and holidays for $28. For your tee time, give them a call at 828-433-4950. The Pine Mountain Golf Course. Come and play today.
And what's up? Campers Inn Sports Talk Saturday, October 21st. 1 week away from my birthday. So next week we're going to have cake and ice cream and a jumpy house. Terry, you ready?
I guess.
So I know Smoke wants a jumpy house, not Smoke.
Traditional.
Smoke.
Not
Who
the
doesn't want to jump? Hey, we get a jumpy house. I'm gonna show you some Ultimate Warrior moves off the sides of the walls, and I'm gonna shake that thing down.
What? So you only do like 2 or 3 moves?
Well, yeah, that's all.
That's all he
Smoke.
has.
That's all you need. That's all you need sometimes, right? Well, how many moves did Andre the Giant have?
He had more than that. He's actually pretty good in the 70s. He just got old.
He had a big old dude move is what he had. Welcome back to Sports Talk. Smoke, real quick. Your Mount Rushmore of wrestling. 4 wrestlers. WWE. The only reason I asked, JR was on Colin Cowher the other day, and they did theirs. I want to see what you say. The Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
I'm just thinking in terms of importance, I would say
top 4.
Andre the Giant.
Greatest wrestlers of all time.
The greatest wrestlers in ring?
The greatest wrestlers, however you think, the most important, the 4 best. This is your Mount Rushmore. However you want to do it, your Mount Rushmore.
Steve Austin, The Rock, Hogan, and I got to pick between Andre and The Undertaker.
Ric Flair.
I thought you said WWE.
No, wrestling.
Oh, okay.
All-time wrestling. Mount Rushmore. Terry's working on his list. I know JR's list off the top of my head.
There's so many.
Me and JR was off on one.
So Stone Cold, The Rock. Those are the easy ones. And Hulk Hogan. Yeah, probably Ric Flair gets a slight edge over Andre.
Smoke named JR's top 4.
Yeah.
Exactly. Those were JR's 4. Stone Cold, The Rock, Hogan, and Flair. Now, my only disagreement, and this will be maybe your generation's, I don't have Stone Cold in my top 4.
Really?
I don't. Because of a lot of reasons. I do have The Rock. He was. If you take, he was so good at everything. His ring presence is the best of all time.
Yes.
You can't. You have to say that, and that's a big part of wrestling. Now, you can't say Hogan wasn't. He made it, and you can't say Flair isn't because he was the other maker of wrestling. It's the 4th one that everybody's disagreeing with. You got Andre the Giant fans.
Undertaker fans.
You've got Undertaker fans. The Undertaker was my 4th one. It really was.
I don't blame you. You can't go wrong.
Sting is my favorite ever, but he's not top 4. You could argue he's 5th. You could argue he's 6th. But there's a line from. I don't think you could ever take Hogan off, and I don't think you could ever take Flair off. But from the 3 and the 4, there's some people that argue with Rock because they'll want to throw in the Andre the Giants and somebody in Shawn Michaels. You never know.
Well, if it was wrestlers and just straight wrestlers in terms of in-ring talent,
right.
Mine would have been a whole lot different. I would have had.
You're not going to have The Rock if you're going to have that. You might have Sting for that. Sting could do everything.
You would definitely have Kurt Angle and Bret Hart, I would think, and Shawn Michaels too. Those would be
different types of wrestlers. There's so many different types. But JR's 4 greatest of all times was Stone Cold, The Rock, Ric Flair, and Hogan. All right, Terry, what you got?
All right. Now y'all got to really think funny. I put mine in the different. My 4, Andre the Giant.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan.
All right.
The Rock. And Stone Cold. I got Ric Flair coming in 5th.
Woo!
Undertaker would be number 6.
You can't put the figure 4 out of the top 4. That's the only. You can't put the one. You can't, Terry. There wouldn't be wrestling without Ric Flair.
But my number 4 guy, Stone Cold.
Be like George Washington's not on the
Stone Cold would destroy Flair.
Have they ever had any matches?
You got to remember, before he was Stone Cold, he was stunning Steve Austin
in the WCW.
And they did. I think they did have matches, and even in WWE, they had a feud before Stone Cold walked out in 2002. So
Stone Cold wasn't Stone Cold, and that's the point Smoke makes. He wasn't Stone Cold until he was Stone Cold.
He got
so that for me, for me, I remember stunning Steve Austin and stuff like
Hollywood Blondes with Brian Pillman.
Ric Flair, he's the nature boy. Woo! Yeah. I've seen Ric Flair chop somebody in a Boone parking lot. I can't. He's in the top 4. Hogan, he brought it mainstream. Hogan brought it mainstream.
Yeah, he did. The Rock and
The Rock and The Rock and Stone Cold and them, they kept it together.
Well, Stone Cold saved
they were
the WWE.
They were the next generation. They were the LeBrons to the Jordans.
But out of all of them, none of them was going to be Andre the Giant.
Well,
well, just the locker room presence that he had. The only one that's comparable is
that's
the Undertaker.
That's a huge guy.
If you read anything about folks, if you're bored and you're on YouTube and not doing something, get off Facebook for a minute. Just research some Andre the Giant stuff. It's fun and entertaining,
especially involving drinking.
Nice guy. You ought to say the drinking stories are ridiculous. Fifth of you just drink a fifth and then just we'll go wrestle, and he was just so much larger than everyone else. But Terry's right; it's hard to keep any of these Mount Rushmore talking top four of anything is so hard to do
because you're going to have different. Going to beat him.
We're going to have different generations that are going to talk about. Is it the best wrestler? Is it the best entertainer? Is it the best in ring? Is it the best out of ring? Or out of entertainment, like mainstream person. In
like
the
movies. Celebrity appearances.
John Cena.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to throw him when you're talking about stuff, things like that. So a lot of different things. A little fun, little talk. All right, guys, let's talk NFL football here before our last break. Before we get into some Charlotte Hornets basketball and wrap up our rest of the week. NFL smoke. Panthers have had a tough last couple weeks, I guess you could say, trying to figure out what's going on. Speaking of misinformation out of teams in Carolina about their football teams, and what's the information and what's going on with the Kuechly situation? We don't know.
I think they're trying not to say anything so then they don't, it doesn't backfire, because Adam Schefter came out with a report last Sunday that he was just in the protocol for cautious reasons. He didn't actually have a concussion. Then Stephen Drummond, the PR man for the Panthers, said, nope, that is not true. He's in the protocol. They didn't specify it at all. I just think...
they don't put you in a protocol for an ankle injury.
Well,
did he come out of it yesterday okay?
Well, he's not playing.
Okay,
he's
that's what I was on.
But, they haven't officially announced he has a concussion. So until then, we're having to assume... And that's why I think if they haven't straight up announced he has a concussion, that makes me think didn't have a concussion. He just, I hope I'm not wrong.
That's what you think.
Well,
I think they're hiding it because they don't want to come out and say, yeah, he's had his third concussion in 3 years, and then we're still trying to get him back on the field.
Well, it's just I don't know.
Man.
It's just weird. They're trying not to look as negligent as possible.
It's ironic. That's exactly
it's just so ironic how they're protecting Kuechly for the last 2 years, but when your freaking quarterback, who you're paying a lot more than Kuechly, has a partially torn rotator cuff, you keep him in there for 3 games, and even if he says he still wants to play, you yank him out, but you still don't. So I mean, it seems so hypocritical though. They'll do a good job on one thing, and then they'll do a horrible job with a player on another thing. That's the one thing I'm furious about is still from that Cam Newton thing from last year, playing him those last 3 games, which were meaningless in the long term.
You still got Cam Newton. And it was Smoke, this is me to you, and you know as much as I do. We still, when it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, stuff like that, they want to put the ball in Cam's hand again and let him run for it again to the outside. And anytime that quarterback starts taking outsides, people are going to take shots. Mm-hmm. And eventually you're going to have the same situation again where Cam's going to get knocked out again, and y'all going to be back with Anderson as your backup.
Well, yeah, and the problem is the run game.
He threw 50 times and ran it.
10.
Yeah,
so
that's
he
what I'm
ran
talking about.
60 plays, and you don't want Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball 50 times. And they've got and Cam, like you said, he's got a rotator cuff problem. He may have still concussion.
Off a short week.
Yeah, off a short. He may still have concussion problems from last year that we don't know about that could flare up. And you got him after running 10 times and passing it 50 times. Granted, let me say this: that was the only way y'all were going that game.
Yeah, and he kept Carolina in the game
because every time they went to pass, Terry, and they were showing Romo sitting there showing it on the thing, they're having to double team the defensive ends,
and
so
Fletcher
Cam
Cox
has time to drop back and pass. Because your tackles are getting blown up, so they're chipping the other defensive ends. So you got 7 blockers now for Cam, and only 3 people in the round. One of them's not Greg Olsen, and so somebody's got to make a play. And then you got Cam throwing 3 against 4 out there, or 3 against 5 out there sometimes. So it's tough for their line situation. We were talking about before the show. They got to get it fixed, right?
Well, and luckily Ryan Khalil is coming back, but I don't think just Ryan Khalil, your center, coming back is going to make the just make everything all right. I mean, the running game is awful, and it's not just Christian McCaffrey. I mean, him and Jonathan Stewart barely have any holes to run through. Jonathan Stewart's averaging only
really
2.9 yards per carry, and McCaffrey is only averaging 2.7 yards per carry. The difference is McCaffrey, they're using him as a wide receiver, so basically when he catches the ball, it's a run play. He had 10 catches for 50-something yards and a touchdown against the Eagles. That's basically him running the ball. It's just he's catching the passes, and he's actually on pace for nearly 100 catches for 600 yards. So if you look at it like rushing, that'd be nearly 6 yards a carry that you get from receiving. So, I mean, the running game's got to get better. But at least McCaffrey is producing.
Well, you think he's producing?
Yeah, he's producing, yeah.
But now,
just not the way you want him to.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He's producing as a slot receiver.
Yeah.
He's Cole Beasley right now.
That's what I'm saying. How come they
back.
do not put him in the backfield for him to run the ball more?
Well, they can't. They straight up can't. There's hardly any holes to go through.
I think I agree with Smoke on this. They can't go nowhere. Stewart's running backward. Anytime you get a running back take a step backwards, Terry, they're in trouble. Barry Sanders is the only running back that we've seen that can go backwards for a lot of times during the day and still get a lot of plays. I mean, it's just Smoke. You're right that the line play that they're not blocking on the run game and they're not protecting Cam right now. And I don't know if Olsen has anything to do with that. He might have a lot to do with it because he helps a lot on the run game.
Well, Matt Khalil is not a good run blocker. He's not really a good offensive lineman, period. But
I was about to say, what else?
He's given up like the third most sacks, But luckily, we do have a clause that we can get rid of him after next year. Darrell Williams, they're just. I'm waiting for them to put Taylor Moton in because he's gonna. I swear he has the potential to be a 10-year right tackle. Taylor Moton does.
Smoke, y'all can't run the ball. You can't pass protect. Your best player on defense is out with concussion, and you're in first place.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That sounds.
There you go.
It's just weird, It's just hearing all these negative comments. I'm like, dang, we're 4-2.
Yeah.
At this point last year, Carolina was 1-5. So I mean,
there are 11 teams in the NFC with 500 or better records.
I got a better stat for you. 26 of the 32 teams are within a game of 500.
That's crazy.
In the NFL. So they wanted parity, so they're getting it, but it's not really the best parity.
Looking at it right now, only teams that are out of... I mean, Smoke, you're talking about how about the AFC? You're talking about, besides the Browns, who are 0-6, every team in the AFC is within two to 2.5 games from first place.
Including the Jets.
Every team in the AFC, 2 games out. So in the NFC, Giants are 1-5. The Niners are 0-6. In the AFC, the Browns are 0-6, and everybody was within a 3-game winning streak of first place in the NFL. Terry, they got parity. We don't have a stud team this year. I don't think this is gonna be a season, guys. I think where it comes down to all the cliches are gonna ring true. Defense wins championships. Stay together as a team. 1 game at a time. The teams that actually do that this is going to be the toughest year picking games, I think, in a long time. The teams that actually stay to those cliches, I think, are gonna succeed.
That's why you only bet on college games.
Well, look at
or we leave it to the officials to decide the game.
I mean, New England's 4-2. They could be 3-3 and lost to the Jets this week in last place. Now they're in first place. I mean, if they lost, they've been in last. That's how easy those calls could win. Yeah,
I mean, the Jets should have beat them. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Leave it to the rest. Because I thought the guy had a touchdown.
Yeah, and that would have gotten the game into overtime.
Yeah.
AFC South, Titans, Jaguars, and Texans are all 3-3. Tennessee has all kinds of health questions, and
they're getting back there.
Their defense give up more points than their offense, and they're in first technically. Jacksonville's 3-3 with no quarterback. Houston's 3-3. They've lost J.J. Watt, and they just now got the rookie quarterback. He's running wild right now.
They finally get a quarterback hit. Their three best players are as Dang, Houston is really snake bitten when it comes to football.
Yep, and the Colts are 2-4 with Jacoby Brissett, 1 game out of first place. Who would have had that? Except Terry and the State fans, they had that. Kansas City 5-2 in the West. They've lost 2 straight and are still in first place. There you go. It's still in first place by. 2 games or a game?
With the Vance Joseph and the Broncos laying an egg. Vance Joseph having the time of his life in the AFC West. Like we thought, Simeon after week 2 is like, oh man, he's gonna look good, and then he comes right back down to earth. So I mean, it is truly a week to week league. The only team right now, the only 2 teams that seem to be consistent, and even with the Chiefs losing 2 games, I'd say are the Chiefs and possibly the Eagles.
Philadelphia's playing pretty good.
NFC East, Eagles, I really wanted to pick them to win the division. I couldn't commit to them, so I went with Giants and Eagles in second. I had Cowboys third. They're in third. I had Redskins last. Redskins 3-2 right now. Vikings 4-2. They got 3 quarterbacks. They got 3 decent quarterbacks. Packers have none. Now that Aaron Rodgers is out there, 4-2. Detroit can't make up its mind who
they have the best
are.
quarterback right now. They have the best quarterback, and they're 3-3.
And Chicago is sitting at 2-4, and they're hosting the Panthers this week.
Yeah, and John Fox, Chicago Bears team with a rookie quarterback.
Is that game going to be 12-10?
Oh, Fox would love it. Fox would love it like that.
8-5. That's going to be.
Hey, John Fox would take a 2-0 win.
He would.
He would.
He would anytime. So that's the NFC North. Who knows what's going on there? Talking.
It's supposed to be raining there tomorrow.
Terry, do the Packers call Romo? Do they have to?
No.
Do they give him a chance? Well, you don't think they will?
No, I don't think.
Should they?
Well,
There's a difference between they will and should, right?
I would. I mean, here's my deal with people like that.
Are they going to give Hundley a chance to first see how bad? If he goes out there and stinks it up.
How can a team not call Romo when you sit there and you're listening to him and he's calling plays before it happens?
and then your quarterback's not.
Yeah.
I'll say this right here. No. You know why? Because if you take Aaron Rodgers out of the equation, put let's see, trying to find
put Brett Hundley in the equation, so we're about to put in there.
Let's put an aging quarterback like Carson Palmer, or just an average Joe, or just a little bit above average quarterback. You're not going to get nearly the production that Green Bay's gotten in the last 5 to 6 years. Because Aaron Rodgers has carried this team.
Right. You have to understand, and only just in Romo's position, you have to understand, like Smoke said, what is their depth? Do they actually have? Is their line as bad as everybody says? Do they have a running game? Does he want to play with Martellus Bennett, who's trashed Jason Witten for 5 or 6 years, who trashed Jason Witten all the time, Terry? And then guess who had more yards and catches against Green Bay? Witten had more yards and catches than Martellus Bennett. He's been trashing him for 5 years.
He does have a ring, though.
Well, he does have a ring, though, and Brady. There you go. Weird situation in Green Bay. I told Will, y'all give Romo a call.
They just need to buff up that defense again, because when they won the Super Bowl, they really buffed up the defense. Got guys like Charles Woodson. They need to start developing some guys and drafting some more guys.
You're right, Smoke. Everybody's so concerned about quarterbacks, and you got to have defenders to play. The MVP of Brett Favre's Super Bowl was the kick returner. That's all I have to say about that.
Aaron Rodgers did win his. I think he did win the MVP.
So. I think he did on that one too. Who did they play in that one?
Steelers.
The Steelers. That was all right.
That was a pretty good game. It was actually in Dallas. Yeah.
Yep. So Carolina Panthers 4-2. The Saints are 3-2. The Falcons are 3-2. And Tampa, everybody's sneak pick was 2-3, and mine was the
very
Saints.
Disappointing right now.
The whole division, or
no,
Tampa? Tampa is right. Jameson's playing like Jameson's
Jekyll and Hyde.
And you're right, Terry. But Terry, they're 1.5 game out
that's
first.
what I'm saying. They're not far.
Well,
if they beat Carolina twice, they're in first.
Yeah, you win 3 games right here, and you're in first.
Here's the weird thing about Tampa. It seems like every year people start hyping them up, and I was at fault for this because I was like, yeah, they'll probably win the division. They just pull a Tampa and they underachieve. I mean, 2012. Oh, Josh Freeman, this is going to be the year. Nope, falls flat. I mean, heck, people were predicting them to win when they went 2-14 with Mike Glennon and Josh McCown as quarterback. As crazy as that sounds. So, and the sad thing about it is you got a beast like Gerald McCoy as defensive tackle, yet you've only gotten 6 sacks. 6 sacks for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Say when you start speaking of Glennon, you're speaking of brilliance and making money doing nothing. Right
well, okay,
NC State education, right, Jerry?
There you go. Steal $15 million from the Bears.
We still got a last break. We got to take. We got to take out real quick. Steve Robay's coming. Hey, Steve, just sit down and give us a break real quick while you're in there. It's time for a break. We're running a little bit behind. We got to squeeze one in for the hour. I got one more note about the Panthers here, Smoke. Just a little poking a couple of notes. Adrian Peters, 134 yards this past week, more yards than McCaffrey has on the whole season rushing.
Well, he has an offensive line that can block, so good.
Other note, Peppers came in the game. The announcer says, Peppers, first play of the game. Off the edge, around the corner. Strip sack fumble, Panthers with the ball. That was his only tackle of the game. Here's other players who had tackles in the game. Jonathan Stewart had a tackle. Ed Dixon had a tackle. And Christian McCaffrey all had tackles in the game. 3 offensive players had as many tackles as Julius Peppers did in that game. But we'll all remember that Julius Peppers had the strip sack fumble.
Well, and that was his 150th sack. He's the first player ever to get 150 sacks and 10 interceptions. Go ahead and get that gold jacket. Go ahead and get that gold jacket.
What did he do the rest of the game? He sit over and eat city lunch hot dogs.
I just couldn't get the pressure.
He got the sack and started eating hot dogs.
I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, he definitely is. All right, Smoke. All right, Steve, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here in just a few minutes on KTCBroadcasting.com.
It's the grand reopening celebration at Renato Auto Mall. It's a grand event with grand savings. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join the boss as we broadcast live during this special event this Saturday, October 21st, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Drop by and enjoy a free hot dog, chips, and soft drinks, and register to win some great prizes, including Southern Christmas Show certificates, free rounds of golf, free food certificates, T-shirts, and more. And be sure to visit Renato Cadillac Buick GMC and register to win a self-propelled GMC riding toy truck. And check out the great deals at all 3 locations. Ask about special financing and huge discounts. So plan now to be there this Saturday, October 21st, during the grand opening, reopening, celebration at Renato Cadillac Buick GMC, Renato Kia, and Renato Honda. All at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. It's Mush, Music, and Mutts this Saturday in Uptown Shelby from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Join Captain Ron and Gerald Weathers as they broadcast live from this event. Our reports are being brought to you by Arnold's Jewelry on South Washington Street in Uptown Shelby, by Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Cadillac Buick GMC at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, by Baber Lafferidge on South Lafayette Street in Shelby, by Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain, by Dillinger's Jewel Shop on West Mountain Street, downtown Kings Mountain, by Arco Insurance on South Lafayette Street in Uptown Shelby, by Flusy Girls on South Lafayette Street in Shelby, by Kibo's on Highway 226 north of Shelby, by Glow Salon on East Warren Street in Shelby, by J&D Furniture on North Lafayette Street in Uptown Shelby, and by Hannah's Coffee Shop on East Marion Street in Shelby. So join us for our live radio remote broadcast this Saturday, October 21st, during Mush, Music, and Mutts in Uptown Shelby. Kings Mountain's Mountaineer Days is the gateway to fun, food, music, crafts, and a frightfully good time in Patriots Park. On Friday, October 20th from 2 to 6, enjoy an old-fashioned homecoming parade, Midway Fun Zone, a live DJ, and hear Crawford and Powers singing live at 4 p.m. The fun continues Saturday starting at 2 p.m. with live bands including Timber Ridge at 2 p.m., the James Taylor Tribute Band, Fourth Creek at 4 p.m., and at 7 p.m., the Zach Brown Tribute Band, 20 Ride. Enjoy the Midway Fun Zone, arts and craft vendors, food and fun. Make sure to catch one of our Ghost of Kings Mountain performances happening every hour starting at 2 p.m. The Ghost of Kings Mountain is a dramatic production bringing the Battle of Kings Mountain to life with the help of some undead patriots. Experience firsthand the excitement of battle and the stories told by those who lived it. The program is family-friendly. Kings Mountain's Mountaineer Days, coming up Friday and Saturday, October 20th and 21st.
The Lincoln County Chamber of Commerce presents their first annual Shop Local Street Fair, Saturday, October 21st from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. in downtown Lincoln. There'll be food trucks, wine and beer, shopping, arts and crafts, a farmer's market, and a kids zone. It's a great day of family fun. For more information, call the Lincoln County Chamber of Commerce at 704-735-3096 or visit our website at lincolnchambernc.org. Head to the mountain, Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, that is, for a great golf outing. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $27. Seniors age 65 and older can play and ride Monday through Friday for $24. Play and ride weekends and holidays for $37. After 1 p.m., play and ride for $32. Make your tee time today at 704-734-0383 for the Crowder's Mountain Golf Course. Play at the mountain today.
In today's housing marketplace, the advantage goes to the seller. Gaston County is becoming a go-to location for new home buyers, but a seller's advantage is only as good as the realtor involved. That's where Moss Realty comes in. They're dependable, honest, and hardworking for you, the seller. Give them a call at 704-865-5555 or log on to mossrealty.com. The number again, 704-865-5555. That's Moss Realty.
Cherryville Ironman Sports, right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
We'll have high pressure over the area as we start the weekend today, and that'll give us quite a bit of sunshine, but some upper-level moisture moving in from the west will also bring a gradual increase in high cloudiness. It'll be warm today, but not real humid, as highs reach about 75 to 80. Tonight, we'll call it fair to partly cloudy and cool with light winds and lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. Looks partly to in spots mostly cloudy on Sunday, slightly cooler tomorrow with an east to southeast breeze and highs 73 to 78. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Currently at the Big O Country Studios, it's 10:01.
And we're back. Steve Robay on the horn. Steve, we're only going to be about 3 minutes long here on this. I know Calvin's going to fuss and everybody going to yell. But we got a little talk. I had to yell about Larry Fedora for a minute. All-time seasons averaging 10 points, 10 rebounds. The number one all-time with 15 seasons of double-doubles. Anybody want to guess?
Did he said 15?
15.
All right, welcome back to Renato Auto Mall. Calvin Hastings, Mr. Perk on a beautiful Saturday morning. Want you to come on out for the grand reopening.
What's going on? There we go. Hey, Calvin's talking on the OHS, isn't he? There you go. Steve puts somebody here. Real quick, guys. We got a couple minutes. All-time double-double seasons. Give me each have me two guesses. No.
David Robinson.
No. Charles Barkley, the only player in NFL history, NBA history, 6'5", 15 seasons of double-doubles. Number 2 at 14 seasons of double-doubles is a tie between Wilt Chamberlain and Moses Malone. Steve, you've seen a couple of them guys play, haven't you? You got some of those. You got some Wilt Chamberlain shorts at the house you wear around the house, don't you?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I saw Moses Malone play. He could play.
He's a beast, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. So there's 14 seasons. Last season, with his 13th season of double doubles, Dwight Howard ties Shaquille O'Neal and Tim Duncan. Looking for his 14th this year. If he gets us, he'll be tied with Wilt Chamberlain and Moses, 1 year away from Barkley. Last night, 20 points, 15 rebounds for Dwight Howard as the Hornets win 109-91 over his former Hawks. Now, the good news is a win. The bad news is an Eastern Conference team, right?
And the bad news is that you're still pretty banged up.
Yeah, the team's banged up.
Yeah, you know, if they can get to 500 stay around 500 before Batum gets back, that'll be great.
They open up with a lot of games on the road,
and some tough opponents too.
But the good news is the East is weak with 3 stars that have moved over, and then the Celtics, Terry, you guys get a star, and then one of the most gruesome injuries that people have seen on TV in quite a while.
And by the way, TNT, Kevin Harlan said he broke his leg 5 times. Why do you show it? The producer should know not to show it.
Well, in ratings.
Yeah, and then everyone froze up. Yeah.
But yeah, Kemba last night had 26. He's averaging 25 and 6 right now. Dwight Howard, 61% from the field right now. Hornets lost the first game in Detroit. They can't beat Detroit, can they? They got problems with the Pistons.
Well, you do know that Stan Van Gundy does know Steve Clifford. He was under.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's the second time Detroit's opened up a stadium in Detroit with a win over the Charlotte Hornets as well.
Yeah, they were showing that during the broadcast on Wednesday. Completely forgot about that. But it looked weird. I'm so used to the Palace, but heck, there's hardly anyone at that game Wednesday night. I mean, they're freaking showing every Detroit celebrity. Kid Rock hasn't aged well. Eminem was there, and a couple others.
Kid Rock was never looking good to begin with. What are you talking about?
Well, if you put an image,
if it aged well,
if you put an image from him back in 2000, 2001, you put an image of him now. I mean,
a drunk Sheryl Crow would disagree with you, Smoke, but anyone else, he's been ugly his whole life.
Okay, point taken.
All right, guys, let's get back in the NBA real quick. Terry, Celtics, what's up, man?
No, it's just going to take us a couple weeks to get everything, rejuvenated.
Are you championship contenders anymore?
We can make the playoffs. I don't think we can win it.
Can you contend for the Eastern Conference Finals?
No.
So right now, if you're picking Eastern Conference Finals,
I'm going with Washington and Cleveland.
Cavs and Wizards. Smoke?
I'm still going Celtics, but it's definitely not going to be. It's probably going to be about like last year.
I mean, I like Milwaukee, but I don't know if they can do it.
They're still so young. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And you don't know the future of Jabari Parker, because they didn't sign him, so he's going to be a restricted free agent after this year, but because of his injury history.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The East it's the Cavs and everyone else. It seems like Toronto will be there. They'll be decent. Washington will be decent, but I don't think nobody can make a run at them. I don't think now. I thought the Celtics might even have a better team than them. But
it'd be Philadelphia.
I don't know about now. That's a lot of Hayward's just a lot of scoring.
Y'all
going to win a bunch of games. Y'all going to win 40-some games.
0-2. When are they ever going to change?
Yep. All right, out west, the Rockets, Portland, OKC, all of them doing well so far. After the first night, Golden State was the worst team in the NBA. They were dead last in the NBA.
By the way, I got to say, that guy that dressed up as Klay Thompson.
That was awesome.
That was. But I'm swearing, it's like, it looked like Vlade Divac if he dressed like Klay Thompson.
All right, secret teams to look out for. Clippers, watch out for them. They've got some pretty good weapons. Minnesota, of course, has got some good weapons. The Lakers, folks, I don't think
they won last night.
They did win last night.
How much did Lonzo have?
He had 29 last night.
Yeah, he was
first night he had
one
a good game,
rebound or one assist away from having triple-double.
So if he goes 1 for 6, 3 points, that's a good game. So what is a 29-point game for Lonzo?
Hall of Fame. All right.
Okay.
All right, Steve, we'll wrap it up. It's been a fun day here on Saturday Sports Talk. Thank our sponsors, always, Campers Inn of Kings Mountain and Breakfast by Mitchum's Kitchen. We'll be back next week to talk more sports. I think we got it through everything today. Week 11, Terry, in high school football is upon us. We only got 2 more weeks left before we wrap it up. All right, Ron out at Mush Music Festival, Calvin at Ronaldo Auto Mall, and Tim and Ken at the Lincoln Business Expo, guys. We'll have a good day. See you later.